What's good, y'all? Let's do the damn thing. Today, we gonna look at whether Polight is trying to blame this case on the government, like some conspiracy type of shit. But first, before we get started, we're gonna listen to Ruga Grudges. Let's go.
You should know he wrong. He a fucking white boy.
Baby, turn me up. Yeah, I lost some niggas in the streets that I can't get back. I told my brothers ain't no stopping till we get.
Here we go.
Back. And I can't lie, so my mind, I need that lick back. I'm just riding on 180 in this Hellcat. I don't even get no time to clear my mind. Ain't gon' lie, the other day I cried thinking about my guys. Grabbed an out like fuck this rap shit, I'm trying to slide. And fans wanna see me crash out and lose my mind. They don't wanna see me shine. I'm a 6 blocker, trench baby. That's what made me. I come from the heart of Inglewood where it get crazy. Cold-blooded killers, they be strapped up like the Navy. It's dangerous in the hood, that's why my gun ain't got no safety. My homie gravesite, we been trying to make a gravesite. I remember late nights, can't talk about them late nights. 3 cars, 8 pipes, you get caught, you pay the price. Switchy got 100 on it, told him have a safe flight. Grudges. I've been holding grudges since I lost my cousin, I've been wanna slide. I'm like, fuck it. I've been having a lot of shit on my mind, I can't lie, it get hard for me to trust you. And I've been on this ledge, I'm on the edge, trying to push me, I might let it off in public. Yeah. That's why lately I ain't been giving a fuck about me. I lost some niggas in the streets that I can't get back. I told my brothers ain't no stopping till we get back. And I can't lie, so my mind, I need that lick back. I'm just riding on 180 in this Hellcat. I don't even get no time to clear my mind. Ain't gon' lie, the other day I cried thinking about my guys. Grabbed an out like fuck this rap shit, I'm trying to slide. And fans wanna see me crash out and lose my mind. They don't wanna see me shine. And you don't know that feeling up inside. Seeing your homie take his last breath before your eyes. That shit hit so different when you gotta take your pride. And they think it's all good, but you really wanna slide. You better be in the house when them street lights come on. I was out here getting wild, no one told me right from wrong. Had to learn it on my own. Got a lot of niggas gone. I was a young nigga thinking I was grown. I wasn't thinking about no song. Grudges. I've been holding grudges since I lost my brother. I've been wanna ride. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just loading up this fire, we outside, ain't no running when we rushing. I lost my mud brother and my blood brother, so I'm blood in. Pull up in they hood, let off a dozen. Now them niggas feeling like we was then. How I'm feeling, ain't no peace tree and nothing. I lost some niggas in the streets that I can't get back. I told my brothers ain't no stopping till we get back. And I can't lie, so my mind, I need that lick back. I'm just riding on 180 in this Hellcat. I don't even get no time to clear my mind. Ain't gon' lie, the other day I cried thinking about my guys. Grabbed an out like fuck this rap shit, I'm trying to slide. And fans wanna see me crash out and lose my mind. They don't wanna see me shine.
What's up, everybody? Salute, salute. I hope you guys can hear me good. What's good, Poetic Kells, Virgo, Max? I see you roll a mile. What is good? Shout out to those in the bushes. Make sure you hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Today, we're not finna really be here for that long. I noticed that, there was some lives that Polight did that I kind of passed over because they just at the time, I don't know, we was looking at other shit. Y'all know what we was doing. Anyway, so we came back to these lives because, and we're not going to look at them in totality, but Polight has a new dude that he's rolling with. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say new because Polight says that it's his mentee. So basically, Polight claims to be mentoring this guy named Liquid Cash. Now, I ain't got no information and then I ain't even look too much into dude, right? But we gonna watch them, quote unquote, build for about 40 minutes. And then he does a solo live into where I could have probably just taken the 19 minutes that I needed, but I wanted to point some things out when it came to Liquid Cash. See, Liquid Cash claims to be financially set, yet the only thing that he really has going for him is I guess he does music. I ain't really look into that, so I ain't here to diss nobody music or nothing. But he allegedly also wrote a book that, no shade, but it was about the size of a pamphlet. Um, and then he also is pushing this merch line as well. The merch store looks very basic. I've done merch for years and things like that. Currently, my merch store is closed down because I want to readjust some things, and I might also go through a different distributor for my merchandise. There's nothing wrong with the other one, but switch it up, try new things after a while, right? So anyway, besides that, I've done merch, I've done graphics, so of course I've done merch, in different type of situations or whatever, right? So when I seen the shirts, I was like, okay, they're mediocre. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not, like, official as hell, correct? So anyway, they bullshit for some time and they say some interesting things that I may or may not point out or whatever, but mainly we're here for the last 19 minutes. This is a hour and 9 minute edit. I almost said a 109-minute edit, but basically it is shit. So we'll be here for that duration at least. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I see Jay Snake the Great and Bronze. um Okay, we see Bronze over there. Y'all, I've been smoking on this good ass green child, and yeah, I'm a little baked today, but it is what it is. So basically, that's what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at what Polight has been doing over the last, couple of weeks or whatever. I know that the one with Liquid Cash in him was done 2 weeks ago. But like I said, we got caught up arguing with SANETER over here. So it is what it is. But there was another live that he was at, like sitting in a car, and he had on like a shirt and it had like gray writing or green writing on it or something like that. I didn't grab that one because it was like hissy and it was like making noise and stuff. I think because like his phone was too close to something in the car that was electric or whatever. Anyway, I didn't grab that one. He basically didn't say much. It was only a 30-some minute live. And he basically was trying to push his scams. Okay, period. So today we're gonna look at, the 40 minutes of Liquid Cash, and then about, the 20-minute, 19 minutes of um Polight. Basically, he's gonna lead into, there's a little bit more of the live that I included, but he's gonna lead into that this is a government thing. They do this to everybody. He gonna make some statements. I think also shade, SANETER Studios and other content creators such as myself that are speaking out against Polight and things like that. So really, I just wanted to, let y'all know that it ain't much until the last 20 minutes, but I just found the positioning of the camera, allegedly Polight, is in this house with this dude, Liquid Cash. And, I noticed that Polight always uses like a cell phone, and it's always like horizontal, like there's no real money going into it or whatever. It's just really weird. So anyway, let's take a look at this edit that I put together. And at the least bit, we'll kind of know where his mindset is at, how serious he's taking life with the case coming up. But he does kind of talk about it, hint around to the case, and says a little thing about DNA. It was interesting. So let's just get started on this. Shout out to everybody in the room. Oh yeah, the pictures are very interesting. I got a group of others. See, I had a little bit of time on my hands before we get started. So, you see SANETER's dad. In front of SANETER with the little jumpsuit romper on is SANETER as a little boy. The next person is SANETER as an older man with a bigger Polight. Now, then in front of the mother and the baby, you have a younger Polight, and SANETER as a mother holding Polight, because SANETER is Polight's mother. That's the twist to the story. So anyway, let's get into the edits. It will all make sense in the end, I promise you.
Abundance is Brother Polight, and I'm here with one of my top mentees, because there's a lot of amazing people in great spaces, but this brother in particular has come such a long way. My brother Cash, Liquid Cash. Cheers. Cheers, you already know.
I just want to point out that this space does not seem very large. You know, another thing that bothered me right in the door is, where is the coffee table? They're going to continuously put these glasses of wine or champagne on this floor. Where is the other couch? Why is the person that's recording this standing like up and away from them? It's definitely not like they're sitting on another couch across from them or anything. It's just very awkward. Ain't no end tables and nothing. Like, what's the fuck?
Great vibe to see these young brothers, man, take it to the highest level and see evolution from one year to the next. You know, I always say I'm the evolution of the revolution. You know, and one of the number one things you do in marketing when you learn business is, if you really want your business to be successful, you learn how to replicate yourself, and you pray that someone becomes better than you, as they should. He's better than me in a lot of things. He's excelled. Whatever I may have shared or impressed upon his mind, he's yet another prime example of becoming greater than the person who bestows something upon you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just being real. A lot of us as brothers don't want to admit when someone has transcended some of the teachings that you may have shared with them. So things that I only maybe scratched the surface on, he looked at it and was like, look, that's my copy. And then I turn around and look at him, man, like a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. Now we on 5, 6 years later, and I'm like, God damn.
Still evolving, still moving on.
You know? So he's done a great job, and I'm very proud of my brother Liquid Cash, man, coming from out the streets, from the mud. You feel what I'm saying? And many of us are the messiah of our family. So if I go to school from pre-K to 12th grade, 14 years of going to school, and you don't teach me how to fill out my first-time homeowner's application.
These shoes look bulky. I know they supposed to be like some designer shoes, but they ugly as hell. And his shoes do look long. Like, this couch looks like it doesn't have the legs that's supposed to be on there. That's another thing that bothered me. They look very low down to the ground. Now, I do like the couch, like the upholstery on it, but why is it so low? Like,
you don't teach me nothing about credit. You feel me? You don't teach me nothing about wealth stewardship, generational wealth. You don't teach me about none of these things. But you got the time to teach me all this X's and Y's. And, like, you flu-flan. That's what they did. This is what we call in Brooklyn some fish market shit. In Harlem, I believe they said some peanut butter and jelly shit right here. With all the time you could have dedicated to preparing us to be adults. Because by the time you get your diploma, what happens? When you get your diploma, you're expected to have your own place. You're expected to have good credit in order to have your own.
Max says she got that couch, but it got feet. See, that's what I noticed. Like, his knees are like up in his shoulder region. Like, he looks very uncomfortable. I'm just saying.
You feel what I'm saying?
But you know, Cash, I don't know who this dude is. I'm saying that like we know him, but he's not really that tall, so it don't look as crazy, but it looked awkward. Like, that's one of the first things I noticed. I scoured the room. Like, where's the coffee table? Ain't no end tables. The couch looks low down, you know.
You can't even afford your own education, and therefore you wind up in debt. Negative $100,000, negative $80,000, negative $70,000, because you paid for an education after 14 years of education. And it wasn't promised that you would actually be able to leverage that education into a newly found business or job that would pay back that debt and still have you living comfortably.
Don't they look like some cheap ass shoes though, from like Payless back in the day?
Above the poverty line. And in fact, a lot of doctors, a lot of nurses, a lot of people in the professional blue collar world, so forth and so on, they're struggling after their degrees. They're struggling.
Educated dummies.
Money's an interesting thing, because just because someone's making more money than you salary wise doesn't mean that they're still not impoverished, because their income to expense ratio is compromised. You feel what I'm saying? So a doctor typically is supposed to have a certain type of living situation, a certain type of car. And when you conform to that concept, you find yourself still living check to check, despite the fact you're making.
I don't care if they Versace, they ugly as hell. These look like some training shoes, like training kids to wear shoes. I don't know.
More money than the
I
average
just still wouldn't buy that.
sister who doesn't have your degree.
I
So it's a
done
lot of
seen
things
it.
we have to take in context. You know, this is the 50-30-20 principle, where when you learn about money, which they don't teach us in school, when you start off, one model you can use, not the exclusive model, but one model that we can use is, you know, you have 50% of your money, 30% of your money, and you have 20% of your
Hey, Missouri, shout out to everybody. Y'all get these likes up, please. I appreciate it.
money. 50% of your money is supposed to be going to obligations, your rent and utilities, so forth and so on. Then 30% of your money, where's that supposed to go? That's supposed to go to recreational things and that which is suffice, meaning a car to drive to work, to and fro, but also some other places you might want to go to based on your social undertakings, as an example. So maybe restaurants and maybe dinners that you don't necessarily need, but you
That's a fact. I got it. Top flight. I got you.
still got to eat. So in that context, 30% of the money goes there, and then 20%, most interestingly enough, is supposed to go towards debt. Debt in the form of that which you can build or leverage. So the type of debt that I'm talking about is the debt that helps you amass wealth or get access to funding or loans you credibility. Okay, so 20% is supposed to go towards debt, savings, and investment. I don't like using those two words like they're not a synonym. I like to consider that saving is one and the same as investment. That's the way I like to look at saving. Because if your idea of saving is to put money aside in case of an emergency, the money doesn't grow. So a good place to put money that you don't intend to spend is in an investment that takes a longer period of time. An expenditure is what we do.
And why does he want you to sell you the idea of investing your money for a long period of time before you would even ask or see a return on it, so that hopefully you'll forget about it? Now, not always are long-term investments, you know, some shit that's going to put money in Polight's pocket. But I'm just saying, in this situation, you feel what I'm saying? He definitely, watch this, because he wants, at the end of the day, for you to be able to forget about the money, or the money don't matter. But he's pitching this to a crowd of people that would believe, you know, something that's too good to be true. Like what he's pitching with this same credit restoration program, that he gonna do all these things and you gonna have a caseworker. We already seen him. You know, and this, that, and the fifth, and you're gonna get notifications, and he's gonna make all these moves for you. But I'm telling you, he can make an app to make it look like he's doing all these things, or he could really fuck your credit up. And how much information do you really have to give this guy? But at the end of the day, he wants you to invest and forget about that money. Why? So you're not asking him.
So you got short-term investments and you got exponentials, right? So I would put it into an exponential. I would put it into a dividend-bearing interest investment, like a stock. Or I would put it into a tax lien that might take a year out, or 6 months out, or a year and a half out. You know, I invest in someone's passive delinquent property taxes, because at the end of the day, I say to myself, man, I'm saving, meaning I have money that I don't intend to spend. So let me put this money that I don't intend to spend somewhere where it would grow. Definitely. Not indefinitely, not a roll of the dice. There's money, there's investments you can make that will inevitably give you a return, so long as you have what I call patient money. Money that doesn't cripple you because
Thank you, Afro Goddess. Much love, sis.
I can get a return right now inside 2-3 months. Boy, I'm gonna be cooked. So they calling you every time, the investment calling you every week. How's the money looking? Not that kind of money. The type of money you're willing to live your life to. Oh shit, it came in today. The check came in for my real estate. That's the type of money I'm talking about. So that's one.
He's not talking about investing to where you would be tripping about the money. But in the pitch of people that he's pitching this to, they're not millionaires. They're people that are looking for a get-rich scheme, that would believe that you're just going to make money through this nigga that has no credentials. He never went to school.
Or just understanding that 95% of people will never amass wealth or access it. And wealth begins at a little over $200,000 a year now. It changed. So wealth begins, and what we mean by that is after expenses per annual. So after every year, when the year is over, after all your expenses, after your taxes, you have $200,000 left. That's where wealth begins. This means you have the capability to invest at least 1/3 of your income, even after fail, and it won't compromise the integrity of your living situation. Meaning, if I knew, and this is why it's so scary for black people to invest, because they don't have the working model for investing. The working model for investing is I should be able to invest 1/3 of what I got left over, and win, lose, or draw, I'm still head above water, not uncomfortable. If you knew how to invest your money, whereby you knew life will remain the same and you'll be just as happy even if all the money didn't give you a return. If you knew how to invest with that type of strategy employed in that state of mind, in that context, you wouldn't be uncomfortable when it comes to investing. Most people are uncomfortable when it comes to investing. Why? Because it's all that they had when they invest. Or they only have a little bit left after they invest. So they're ready to catch a body if it doesn't work out. Right? You know what I'm saying? And I always say, let's make money.
He just said that after people invest, if they, they're to the point to where that's the last of their money, and if it doesn't work out, they ready to catch a body. So who has he scammed people that have threatened his life? I'm pretty sure that's happened. You know what I'm saying?
Sport. Right. And if we make money sport, then we would know we need a mentor or a wealth coach or a wealth trainer. Because in every sport, there's someone who has a certain level of knowledge, know-how, and success.
But that's everything that he's offering in his program.
That they can see the prerequisite steps that you have not taken, or the mistakes you are bound to make, and to speed up the process rather than you going through trial.
He just basically is trying out a new script for his credit repair program.
You have a person over you that you entrust,
Facts.
knows more than you, so you can get there. So picture a guy who just has a mean right hook on the streets. Think he's gonna go in a professional realm of boxing and fight one of these guys who, in sports medicine, trained to eat the right way, cut weight the right way, and
they definitely don't, when they go to the store to buy stuff, don't pay cash. Like, he doesn't even adhere to the same practices that he's pushing.
Hit you the right way, got the twerk, you got all of that. You got the strategy and how to deliver the punch, but you're just a good street fighter, and you really think, as a good street fighter, you can compete with a professional boxer. Same thing with basketball, same thing with football. You can be really good uneducated. A lot of us are really good uneducated. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to making this money, a lot of us got a strong right hook. A lot of you know how to hustle. You know what I mean? But then you got to learn about how to create the right company structure. UCC, financial statements. Now we got
all stuff that he does,
learn about credit.
Allegedly.
Okay, and then you just learn about transparent, eat fast, FICO. Then you don't know there's over 30 other credit bureaus out there.
See, I told you he just remixed the script.
And there's Sage Stream, Core Logics, LexisNexis, Texas. It's like Texas and LexisNexis. What? A lot of you don't even know. Oh, your credit bad? You can go to Experian Boost. If you're paying rent, you can add your rent on to your credit to boost your score. If you pay a utility bill, you can add your credit on to boost your score. If you get money from streams, you can add the revenue, the receipt, the confirmation from your streams to what? Experian Boost, and you can boost your credit because you're getting paid for that.
Now, we've already heard him say this several times.
To you, not being able to get a home because you haven't made the criteria to get at least a 640 credit score for the type of home you want.
But why am I getting the feeling that he's trying to, like, make it seem like there's hella people in the room, not just him and Cash and the person recording? Now, there may be somebody over to the side of him over here, but he looking all like he's doing a lecture or something.
And all the while,
this is a man's apartment. When they pan down the hallway, it looked like a normal apartment, and this is just the living room.
And rent, and you're paying light. And you can just add that to your book, but they always got us on defense. Okay, can you delete this negative item on my report? But okay, so we blocking the snitching, but when can we tell on ourselves for the purposes of our benefit? So what I'm saying is, the street fighter can be really good in the streets until he has to go pro. Then you need structure. Okay, the nigga in the hood who got a strong handle and nice crossover can only do so much when he plays in a professional realm with
salute, Tar.
Real coaches and players and people that train and have a dietary regimen to make them elite. So in money, I'm actually got to take the same approach. You can't sit here just wanting to be better. You can't sit here, I got hustle in me, I'm hustling. That can only take you but so far. I'm looking to give you structure because everybody in every other sport says or makes concessions onto their coach. They humble themselves and they say, man, I need a coach, I need a trainer.
But some would say all Polight does is hustle, aka scam off of other people. There's many ways to quote unquote hustle, and Polight's way of hustling is to scam other people.
I need a maestro. I need somebody to direct this situation. But when it comes to money, you left out there with nobody, having to guess what to do next. So here's a brother, liquid cash,
Cheers.
one amongst many things that he has now that he didn't have. I say, what is it? Maybe 7 years ago, maybe, around. None of this was there. He has his own brand, Cash is King.
Create a steady hustle. The acronym.
Got the brand here. And this don't stop at the close. It's high end, so don't complain about the price.
Well,
He said that this is high end, so don't complain about the price. Bruh, I've been doing graphics for shirts, my own merchandise and all that for years. Period. I think I dropped my first merch line in 2016. This is basic as hell. And you don't need to go through Brother Polight to do this. You could go to T Stream or whatever in the fuck. There's a whole bunch of other, companies to where, there's different offers or whatever. If you stream, there's actually merch programs and apps and shit for just that. You know what I'm saying? This is not hard to acquire, and somebody could just get an account if they don't even stream and still make merch. You can make shoes, all type of shit. This is not nothing, that is luxurious. It's just a basic merch. So he is a mentor of Brother Polight, like he is a mentee of Brother Polight. Polight is mentoring him. And all he did was create a book that I cut out because I'm not promoting this nigga, but a t-shirt line that's, mediocre at best. And, some hats. You could put out hats through the ways that I had said or whatever. Teespring or whatever the thing is. I never tried it or whatever, but there's other ways, you know what I mean? Versus you just going to a t-shirt shop where they print out stuff like that and giving them your designs and then having to pay the money up front for it. You can get paid each time a shirt is made and not even have to like send the shirt off or whatever merchandise off or anything like that. I don't know what he went through to get these shirts, but he didn't have to go through Polight to get them. That's my point.
You feel me? It's high end. It's going crazy with my drip right now.
Because it's not about what you earn, it's about what you save that brings you wealth. You did? So you always got to be mindful of that. That a penny saved is a penny earned. Don't be afraid to save your money and put it somewhere for a rainy day, because there's always rainy days. As a matter of fact, sometimes I like to say, what?
I mean, he talking all this big Willie shit, but his accomplishments, like I said, the book is over here. It's about the size of a pamphlet. He has a couple of shirts that he has on display. He may have a room full of shirts at the end of the day, right? But all this shit can be acquired without Brother Polight. So why would somebody need to just go to Brother Polight to get these things done?
What? Not rainy days, sunny days. You want to save your money for sunny days. When you
Right,
walk in, you got a nice sunny day and you want to go shopping.
That's
You know what I
right,
mean?
that's right.
And you stack your papers.
That's
And when
right.
you want to feel like you want to go shopping because it's a sunny day, you did. You can do what you feel because you saved your money. You did. We got the whole vibe. You know what I mean? We got champagne, whatever liquor that you need. We're gonna make sure accommodate that. It's a vibe. And even if you don't want to go on a party bus and you got an elderly with you, you might have your grandmother, you might have your mother. Her leg might be hurting. She might not feel like walking up and down the strip. You can rent a mobility scooter from me. You can get a mobility scooter, and she could be at the slot machine, pulling the handle down while she doing her thing. You could be roaming and doing what you doing. You dig?
So I don't know about the part about the party bus. It got long-winded, so I cut some of it off, right? But he may or may not also have a party bus. That's cool. But he has mobility scooters as well. Now, this dude is out of Las Vegas. So that could be a good idea, though, with a mobility scooter company. He is unmasking, many streams of income, as Polight would say. But I mean, some of these things sitting right here are kind of petty to me in reality. I'm just saying, like, Polight sells you this dream. Like, if you send him $2,000, he's gonna like make it so that you can get $3,000 that you wouldn't have to pay back, and you're just gonna have all this money. And we're listening to a man that does not have a coffee table or end tables. He ain't got the legs on the couch. He, telling you what he got and all this and that. But when it panned to the side, it looked like a normal, apartment. I'm just saying, it's just kind of odd to me.
got you covered on all areas.
And it don't stop there.
Yes, sir.
It don't stop there. I didn't want to exhaust the point. Just want to give you an idea if this is the direction we gotta go. We gotta have multiple streams of income. I always teach to have at least 9 streams of income. And if you got a child,
Right, they just fucking this floor up. Don't just play it.
by the time they're 13, they should have at least 6. This is a fact. They should have at least 6 streams of income. We've come a long way. I'm super proud of my brother here. And it makes me smile that I can just ask about so many different things. And he's facilitating on so many different levels and so many different mediums and so many different venues. There's so much money out here, man. Just get your start going. Just I always say I'm too smart to be broke. That's my mantra. It's always good to have mantras.
And let me say this too, though.
Too smart to be broke because he's gonna scam somebody to get what he wants.
It's important. It's very important, imperative that you have these people in your life. You gotta have these people in your life that they're gonna put you on to certain things that you're not even aware of. That's how I got into a lot of the business that I got into. Being connected with people that has enlightened me about certain business opportunities that I'm not even thinking about. That's how I got into the mobility scooters. Just having a conversation with my CPA. And he dealing with people all day, every day. And he knows what business is lucrative and what's not. Because he's doing the taxes for these people all the time. So it's important that you build a relationship with the people that you're doing business with.
Let me add on to that. That goes into my philosophy, the TTP, and after that, TTMP. That is to say, talk to people, and after you do that, talk to more people. When I first went out to LA and I ain't had no money, I used to go to restaurants that were so elite, right? Where the movers and shakers go. And all I would order was the free bread that comes, tea, and at the very most, soup.
Yes.
Okay, right here it kind of looks like maybe this is a coffee table, right? But did they move it because Polight wanted people to see his shoes? I'm just wondering. And why is it always when Polight, shoots these videos to promote his scams, right? Because I cut out the part where he was like, email me at Brother Polight, da-da-da-da-da, and all this and that, right? But, like, what is really going on here? Why is it always that we're seeing it from, this horizontal lens? Why he don't have a real camera? You know what I'm saying? What is going on with this backpack? What do you got in here?
But guess what? I learned to master what they were wearing, what they had on. I could tell a cheap
right,
suit.
The designer bag, he wanted that to be seen too.
And I'm like, man, don't nobody really wear a cheap suit over here. And I would build conversation with people as they was waiting for their business engagements. And eventually, I would take different business cards, right? And phone number contact.
And this area looks like somebody does some type of podcasting here, because when they pan back out, there's like a black mic stand over here, and then there's also one by this dude named Cash.
Whatever it may be, I created a traffic keeper, right? And with this traffic keeper, I would compartmentalize the people that I met. Right? Because we will always say things like, your net worth is your net worth. Right? So I'm like, man.
See, that's a mic stand. And I believe there's one over here as well.
My net worth is my net worth. There should be some value in the contacts that I'm accumulating for these very wise and or successful people I'm meeting. So I would get all the, let's say I get a photographer. I meet him today, photographer. And then I would meet engineer, right? Then I meet stage and light director. I meet over here, manager.
These shoes do look like they for like spared people. I'm sorry. The sex offender 9 sneakers.
Down over here, CPA here, financier over here, crowdfunding guy over here, angel investor over here. And what I would do, I would put them in sections. So I'm over here telling my man Metal World Peace, and he used to throw these events, like Beverly Hills and Westwood, and he was just.
He ain't talked about Metal World Peace in a while. I was wondering what really happened to him, but just because he threw his name in there doesn't mean that they recently had any type of building time. You feel me?
People just come out and network on his strength, right? And when they would connect with each other, they would accredit him for the connection. And somehow that would be his inclusion into their world. And if nothing else, should it be successful, whatever they did, if the inception of that project came about on account of them showing up to his event, they always kept him in mind, and at the very least, they owed him one, come to my red carpet event, or come out to my suite. And so long as you're in the mix and you're talking to people, it's going to work out. So I compartmentalize all these different people based on their genres. And then I started having events based on genres, right? And people,
where were these events, Polight?
It was connecting everything.
Because Polight, like when Polight when he go to jail, prison, whatever, You know, if you ain't never been to jail, there's dudes in there, girls in there that will like totally lie about what they did on the outside, and they may have some proof, or if you look it up after you get out or around a computer or something, you could find bits and pieces of it. But a lot of it is cap, you know. So I can only imagine the stories that he's gonna try to make, you know, and give to some of the people that are locked up.
And then it would be how you met. How did this project come about? Oh man, I went to Brother Polight's engagement. I went to his breakfast. I went to this brunch. Right. And then I started doing them annually. And then I started doing them quarterly.
Not 9 alien stains on them.
I started doing them monthly, right? Because my network was so crazy. I kept TTP and TTMP. I kept talking to people, and after that, talking to more people. And then eventually, I was getting scenes for movies. Yeah. I wound up writing for shows.
He said he was getting scenes for movies. Child, what movie have you seen Polight in? Now, he's been frolicking around in Hollywood for what, about 9-10 years now, something like that, at least 7. What movies you seen Brother Polight in, even as an extra? This nigga just said, let's rewind that because I didn't double it up, but let's go.
I went to his breakfast, I went to this brunch, and then I started doing them annually, and then I started
doing
them quarterly, and then I started doing
them roast to toast
monthly, right? Because my network was so crazy. I kept TTP and TTMP. I kept talking to people, and after that, talking to more people, and then eventually, I was getting scenes for movies. Yeah. I wound up writing for shows, doing screenplays everywhere. People just kept feeling obligated to include me because of the fruits that were being bared. So I'm saying is,
this nigga is capping. What movie you ever seen him in? No screenplay or nothing. These niggas is capping.
I did that with no money.
Elliot versus
and I built it literally by going to places with people with fine dime that I felt like, man, this is a head. Because you know, you got places in LA, man, that you pay $100,000 for a membership just to eat there within the confines and privacy of your peers and contemporaries. And I made my bread. I spent my money on the membership because I'm just thinking something totally different there. And I wasn't thinking take a picture with somebody and take a, you know, hopefully I can get a video with them. I was thinking the conversation was the goal. You know, and
that's cap, because Polight is a groupie, bro. Like, he'll see celebrities at the airport and ask them to take their picture and all that.
Whoever's paying $100 to be in the privacy of their contemporaries. One thing I knew that I learned was...
Right, that part, Tar. Okay, I'll give you that one.
I was outside of their matrix. But I was making money, and everybody in that matrix not necessarily making money. Right, and everybody in that matrix has a mental Rolodex that their TV shows soon run out, that they won't be as hot in the music world before they get replaced, that they'll usher in a new set of black actors and they'll be replaced. Like there's a mental Rolodex in people's mind in the music and entertainment industry that you're gonna get replaced eventually. We're gonna prop you as the #1 comedian, and then we're gonna usher you out of there when we see another young guy that looks like he has enough integrity, personality, probably bend a little pause. Right. You know what I mean? Right.
So yeah, after they make millions of dollars.
You know, that energy. So that being the case, what always gets people that I notice.
Harlem Nights Part 2.
Those are the actors. Those are the rappers. I go basketball game, sit courtside. Right. So much so they start calling me Black Jack. I was a Black Jack Nichols. You know what I'm saying? I'm always courtside. There's a chair I was on, for those of you on social media that have been walking with me. You know, there was a chair I was on. I was always courtside every game, every Lakers in this.
Now, I'm glad that he said that and I could find this picture. So just to remind you guys, he was also courtside with Renentek, one of his first victims. Actually, she would be from what we know as the second, right? Because his alleged second wife is his first victim. Renentek is the second that we know of. And the third is the case that he's fighting now. But if you see, Mayweather is at the game as well. So that's interesting. Now, just because you can get seats to a game don't mean you that nigga. But he claims that because celebrities saw him at the game, that, you know, they started talking to him and all this and that. No, I guarantee it was the vice versa.
Sometimes the Clippers, and sometimes I would stay for the Lakers, Clippers, and then the Kings, and watch them play hockey. I say right there, board checking, and I might buy the glass like, oh. But the point was, I became such a familiar face that people were like, "Who is this guy?" Right. We know we act, we know we rap, we know she dance. Right. You on the billboards, but God, who's this? You think I had to go talk to anyone? Nah, they came to me. They feel the energy. Cause I'm drippy. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting courtside with like 4 or 5 of my wives. 3 on one side, 2 on the other.
God, he was a stand-in for Don Cheadle.
No, my seat's crazy. Because one of the things I learned from Floyd and shit is renting out the seats. You know what I mean? Mayweather's a smart man. I learned to, rent out the seats at the basketball games. Yeah. So I would sit in a lesser seat, probably sideline, while I'm renting out the seats in the front. You know what I mean? So somebody's paying for my seats and for my ability to network. Because, when you go to school, if you see somebody X amount of times, but you probably never talk to them, but then one day you go to the mall and you see that same person in school, they go to your school, that'd be the first time you say, hey, yo, what's up? Yeah. We know each other from school, we just don't talk. Right. But when we in a mall or a different venue, we see each other, oh man, what's up, man? We go to the same school, yo, how you doing? So picture it constantly being seen at a basketball game, and that's how you be recognized. And then it's time for a red carpet event, and the person sees.
Let him tell it. He started Denzel's career.
I'm like one of their contemporaries. Right. Now it becomes, hey, yo, what's up? Then it becomes, and then I'm wearing.
Facts. You can have a picture with Michael Jackson, doesn't mean you know the nigga, period.
Bedazzled. I'm always bright gold ass shoe, something that stand out. That's the dude with the bright ass gold shoes all the time.
But he does know Mayweather, though. We know that he knows Mayweather and he knows Meta World Peace. Now, him and Meta World Peace, I think they fell out over something that wasn't made public. But yeah, Polight was even around Meta World Peace's at the time teenage daughter, which is wild as hell as well.
She made an ostrich, or he always got the red bottom. Like I'm always on. That's the guy who always with the women. So he got to see it's time 4 or 5 seats. That energy is like I see you outside of another place. I see you in 2 or 3 more venues. Eventually, yo, what's up? Yo, what do you do? Exactly. Because I know everybody else, but bro, you always around. And I met a lot of people just being consistent at the places where movements and shakers be. Never had to open my mouth to introduce myself. They would in time introduce themselves to me. It's a true story.
Oh, that's cap, because Polight definitely has that groupie type of mentality. He wanted to be Hollywood. There's a video, I gotta find it, where he went in on people that live in the hood. Now, I don't live in the hood, but you know what I'm saying? He was talking about like the living in the projects and this, that, and the fifth, and all this and that, and how his life is better now because he lives, in Beverly Hills or whatever he was saying. And it just is really sad, you know what I mean? Because he didn't get there for, doing something righteous or whatever. He got there because he scammed people.
And I was already prepared.
But he ain't living that life that he puts on to y'all or to anybody else, on here or whatever. He definitely ain't living that life. He does a lot of house sitting. He does a lot of Airbnb living, living in just regular hotels with the bigger rooms. Of course, there's 3 or 4 adults in there that can pay on the room.
What do you do? Depending on what I knew they did is what I do. Never lie. I'm just multifaceted. So
love, son.
If I'm talking to a Denzel or somebody I know, damn, they coming out with movies, they directors, and they also actors. What do you do? I do comparative studies of monotheistic religions and retrospective being influenced by cultures of antiquity. Now you're confusing. You know what I mean? You fucking.
He done spoke so fast that he done fucked dude's head up, and now he finna pass out. Look, he done leaned to the side and shit.
Because I'm gonna look like hip hop, but once I open my mouth,
he had to get his grounding.
Then that whole shit, I got your attention. Yeah, because that ain't what you expected to come from my mouth.
But when people talk fast and use big words, that don't mean they smart.
I deal with holistic health. And I made mentor people, sports, music, and entertainment based on holistic.
Now, who's doing podcasts in this apartment, okay? Because I'm just wondering what the fuck is going on here. They got an alligator on what looks like to be the coffee table that they moved back. Because at first I was like, this nigga don't, he don't have end tables. The legs ain't on the whatchamacall, the couch, but this possibly may be a coffee table. Now, I'm only saying that because this man claims to be financially stable off of being under the mentor program of Brother Polight. And we know that Brother Polight, was evicted and has not had a house since, or an apartment even, but, he does these Airbnbs and things like that. So that just kind of causes me to question. Didn't they say that like one of the Google people or whatever, somebody, child, slept in people's garages or slept on people's couches and now he's a multimillionaire or something like that, child? I don't remember who it was, but, I don't know if he's trying to give off that effect, but in real life, he drives rental cars and he stays at houses that he claims are his, but he doesn't even know the painting or how much was necessarily bought, what the painting means and shit like that. Just a lot of sus shit. But Crypto Roots, even SANETER and others have exposed that he rents his cars. And so obviously, Airbnbs as well. I'm just saying, like, for this dude Cash over here with the waves to be so, financially stable, I would expect for him to have, end tables and stuff. I'm just wondering where they podcasting to, child. I'm gonna have to figure this out.
Just depend on who I'm talking to. That's my cachet of information that I have available to you. Because what you don't do, when someone says, so what do you do? And you start singing, it already went to hell. Yeah. You gotta know what the hell you do. And people that do have something going on don't even know how to articulate and fire that gun in real time before you lose people's attention.
He might have Bill Cosby this drink. That's not even funny. But with this nigga, you could never know. I mean, because he was chilling with same gender loving that have that sauce, if you know what I mean. The 3 letters, you could find the same letters in a phrase like house in Virginia, that type of phrasing or whatever. So you never know what, and it seems like Cash is drinking pretty fast over here. Polight seems to be drinking pretty slow. His cup is still on the ground.
So I always make sure. You could ask me my name. It was going to be a package deal because I didn't know how much time I had to talk to you. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get everything. I'm going to have this.
Messing up, y'all. So really quick, let me just give y'all a rundown that have entered the room. So we just kind of hear bullshitting or whatever, catching up on what Brother Polight has been doing in the last 2 weeks, right? And he had an interesting little build where I just wanted to point out that some shit looked awkward and what dude was talking about or whatever just seemed a little off to me. We kind of covered most of that already or whatever. Just this merch, he could have got that without Polight. Like, I'm not seeing real growth here for somebody, to give this man their money. But he claims that, through Polight's mentor program, he has, become financially stable and things like that. So about for the next 20 more minutes, they're going to bullshit build and, just try to be flashy or whatever. Obviously, they moved the coffee table back so they could show you the bag and the shoes and these white, it looks like Air Force Ones that is crispy, and his waves and shit. They going to show them in a minute, child. And there is a lot of waves. Props to him for the waves or whatever in whatever business. I ain't trying to talk shit to dude. I don't know who he is for real, but I'm just not seeing a lot of growth for them to be pushing this microwave program, but that is their intentions. Obviously, Scam Alert, which we've called out several times, Polight is a scammer. But after they build, he kind of does a live stream where, he's by himself and he does, get into talking about things after he's asked about him doing podcasts and things like that. He makes some statements. That's all I'm really going to say. But for the next 20 minutes, it's kind of just like this bullshit build between him and this dude. Today's edit is only an hour and 9 minutes, so we won't be here long.
QR code, before the QR code was even known of, I had my QR code business card already lined up. Let me put my phone on top of your phone. Who? What is that? Right. Because I'm ahead in technology before you? Yeah, all my information is on your phone already. When that shit first came out, I was on it so early that when I met people, my information was already injected into their phone. That became a conversation in itself. People were just impressed that I was ahead of the game, being able to network on that level. And that created conversations that empowered me and made me money in the future. It'd be the simplest things. Stay ready. Knowledge is always a form of power. So you give to someone that's empowerment. There's no knowledge that's not worth it. There's none. If you teach somebody something they didn't know that is helpful or resourceful.
Did you see how they paying down at the shoes? Now, that was not me.
Then, man, if nothing else, it's a spiritual transaction. You're going to always get yours back. But a lot of people are just grateful when they don't expect to have.
And then is this person that's recording this, are they sitting on the back of the couch? Because that's kind of what it feels like.
You added upon them from a stranger. You know what I'm saying? So, but bringing it back full cycle. Because I'm only doing it.
Shout out to you, Mac.
Just on the strength of this show today because I thought of my brother when I came into town. 2 minutes from the
Not he should have been the auctioneer. I'm dead.
or less than 2 minutes from the thought. I turned my head and
that would have been a good job.
And I said, man, if this don't stop, man, I'm constantly bumping into. I can be driving one of my Rolls Royce. I'll be in the city.
And I just hear him like, yo, Poe, and you know, and that's another conversation I was having with him. You can fake astrology, not to a person who really knows.
Oh, he act like when he go outside, niggas is like, yo, Poe, you know, and they all happy to see him and shit. And when he hears his name in real life, though, he's not looking around and wondering, is this somebody that he scammed in real life? Okay, that's what's really happening. He can lead on this fairy tale ass life, these Airbnbs, these hotel livings, and these rental cars all he wants. He ain't fooling me.
So keep in mind, keep it in context.
Because in the later video, he's going to claim that he's more of an introvert. Like, he like to be by himself and all this and that. He don't really fuck with people. Oh, and he's really actually going to say, y'all, this is the real reason why we here. Basically for 19 minutes of his audio, where he had stated that people, humans or whatever, I don't remember how he worded it, but I know that he did say that, like, he's disgusted by people in this world, like human beings. Like, how in the fuck would this nigga have the audacity to say that he's disgusted with human beings? Like, nigga, you're disgusted.
A lot of people can fake astrology, they can fake numerology, you know, palm reading, you know, shit always used to have me. And people always go, I was tearing people down. I wasn't looking to tear people down. These words, I was looking to tear people down, but I always say,
definitely paranoid.
hey, man, how can you give me a prophetical account of who I should be with, who I'm not going to be with in the future, who I shouldn't be with right now? How you
Not the Ninja Turtle backpack. I'm dead. It do look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power. Look at
forecast all these things? You can't forecast money.
Yeah.
You can tell me my zodiac sign and this one, good for me, this one. I'm like, all right, cool. You can read my palm. You can read my feet. You can look at my tongue.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? But you can't get yourself out of poverty. Nor me. So I always thought this shit is fraudulent. It's a scam. You know what I mean? This is some scammy shit. Because you're not going to be able to see my future with someone else. And yours is a blur when it comes to your own economic disposition. So I come to the conclusion, I was telling my brother today, one thing you cannot fake, especially in the black community, is success.
No way, no how.
You can fake that other shit.
What? You have faked success for years, Polight. There is really some people that think that this nigga is rich and he does something. He does nothing. He's a scammer.
But you ain't got to be into any technical sciences to know if a person's really not successful.
We said in the movie, Paid in Full, nigga, you smell like money.
You know what I'm saying?
When he said, I'm broke, baby, the nigga said, nigga, you smell like money. You feel me? You can't fake it. You can't. It's an aroma. You want to smell it on us. You want to smell it. That's success. We breathe success. Right. It is what it is.
Yeah, I've met homeless people that, like, they ain't sleeping under a bridge or whatever, but they homeless, bruh. And you would never know unless they told you. Like, niggas is clean, they sharp, clothes pressed and everything, but niggas is really homeless. That don't mean shit. This nigga up here, just because he got these knockoff motherfucker, they about knockoff shit. Probably got an extra soul in that motherfucker, whatever. Child, something, the tongue don't move, something ain't right about them motherfucking shoes. And all these damn clothing. My son, my 13-year-old son got a pair of jeans that look just like this. Why is this nigga 40 years old dressed like a teenage gamer in this bitch?
And we been, you know, I know me, I've been poor so long, once I got a taste of some money, I got to show it. There's no way, I cannot hide.
So what do you say to people that say, white people don't, or Bill Gates doesn't show off his money like that? What do you say to people that say that?
They grew up in prosperity, man. They don't.
And then whoever recording this is like, ooh, let me zoom in and let's get the drip. Now, this is a nice necklace, and I would like to say that it's real, and I'm not finna say it's not. But I mean, he looked like he dressed like a dad that's about to go walk around the zoo with his kids. I mean, he ain't like dripped out. You know, what are we zooming in on? And these are Air Force Ones, child.
They have a different way of thinking. We like,
oh, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, niggas act like they flicking and they multi-millionaires or thousandaires. You know what I mean? Couple of hundredaires.
I speak for niggas that like to get fly. I know you like to get fly. You like to get drippy. You know that ain't no way I'm gonna get some money and I'm gonna go still shop at Forever 21. I'm not gonna.
He got his girl's wig, scarf on. Polight dude. He ain't never gonna have waves, y'all. He ain't even got a forehead. Well, I mean, he ain't even got a hairline, let alone enough to get some waves.
That just ain't me.
And this is a man with his own brand, so stop playing with it. And we're wearing it.
Exactly. So, you know, I'm always, if I got some money, man, I'm going to give you the nice and the finest things in life that I can buy. I'm not gonna get the regular couch. I'm gonna get the couch. It's gonna be hard for you to fucking find an emerald green couch.
That ain't hard for you to find. My girl Max got that same couch, except for hers got the legs to it. See, because y'all is so lazy, which tell me that you're financially lazy about your money, just like you was lazy with this couch and didn't put the legs on the motherfucker. Now, it is nice, but, you know, I could point you in a few directions to where they have about this same couch, maybe in a different color, but it's going to have the legs. Now, when it's delivered, it may not have the legs on it. You would then have to become, you know, mobily stable enough to put the legs on, just like you claim to be financially stable. I'm just saying, like, it just shows me a lack of effort. This gives me like man cave, nigga's first apartment. You know, he moved away from his mom's house after Polight taught him how to, you know, get a Teespring account and, you know, write this little pamphlet right here that they, you know, give away on the street for $1.99. See, now Polight gonna make me talk shit about this man that did nothing to me. But the fact that they don't even have enough common sense to have coasters at least on this floor, or a table into which they would put the coasters, into which they would put these glasses that's up here. But again, Cash done drank more than Polight. So what actually went down after this video was made?
It's gonna be an emerald green plush couch, and it's gonna be suede. And it's gonna be something it's hard for you to get.
When Shorty take her ass off that couch and she go back to that other nigga couch,
Yeah, she's gonna be
the place is no return. Like, I never leave that couch again.
exactly. I'm gonna get big portraits and shit. You can see, and you be like, oh damn, this portrait is nice. I'm gonna get things that's gonna be grand. I'm not gonna do nothing simple, because I know you run into this problem a lot of times. Some people always say, man, you're so extra.
Or we got smoke shops where you could buy them same things and they come just like this with no frame, child.
I say, you so basic. Why you so basic?
Real shit.
You dig what
And
I'm
they
saying?
say I'm talking too fast, and I said maybe you thinking too slow.
Exactly. You're listening too slow. You feel me?
Nah, that shirt that Polight got on is this dude's clothing line. They was just propping it up earlier, like, oh yeah, you know, he makes shirts now and he wrote a book. The book is small as hell. Literally, you could read it in like 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just not a linear approach to what's going on here.
So we can't hide success once you start to get it, man. It ain't no way hell.
But he does have a mobility, you know, them little scooters. He has one of those, and he might have a party bus. So, you know, maybe he doing a little something, but he ain't, you know, he ain't all financially set, because that party bus fall apart on him and he don't got the adequate insurance or monies to provide how they could go down. And then Polight finna go to jail. So where is his mentor finna be at? Is he gonna accept 15-minute phone calls from the prison? You know, is he gonna send Polight, you know, money for his books? Is he gonna write Polight letters? Is he gonna go visit Polight and ask him about where his financial, you know, stability should take off more at?
How I'm gonna be riding a certain way when I got over 6 figures in my
You got the Hanes crew socks, okay?
It's called though. It's called survival skill. You made it up.
These pants right here offend me, because I know my son got a pair of these motherfucking pants.
Out of there, and people want you to feel uncomfortable that you did. It's survival skill. They want survivors to feel guilty. You made out the hood. Why you don't come back in the hood? Why you got security? Why, yo?
Not the one with the decal on it where you just iron it on, I'm dead.
It's survival skill. You got people walking around here feeling uncomfortable because they're doing better because they worked harder for it.
You gotta put in the work.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel guilty.
I'm not gonna be a victim of being successful no more.
Yeah.
I had survival skill when I first realized I survived.
I never had it.
I had it because when you're a teacher amongst your community,
Yeah.
Not jeggings. My son's is like pant, like their jeans or whatever. They just skinny jeans, but these is like tights on him. It look like some leggings.
I didn't know they expect me to be broke the whole time. Second I started driving a nice car, oh, he sold his soul. Oh, they paid you off. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm still smart. I'm still intelligent.
Facts. Yeah, he been over there working out in a little gym or whatever. He got him a personal trainer, and he working out, getting ready for, you know, what's ahead of him after he take this plea, whenever he take it. Now, hopefully he do take it September 6th, but we'll see, because we've been waiting on this case for 2 years. So we just, you know, kind of staying right about right here so that we can find out all the deets. You know, you pull away a little bit to cover something else and you might miss something.
Got people telling me right now, from where I'm from, telling me I sold my soul to Illuminati. I'm like, what? Whoa, what are you talking about?
Hey, you know you made it once they say it.
Oh, yeah. What's
that? He lied on his lies. I'm dead.
The Illuminati, so I'm like, oh, nigga on another level. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for the day. And I'm seeing videos of me doing signs and symbols I didn't even know exist. And they putting that shit in slow motion. And they're like, look what he just did. I'm like, they convinced me. I joined the motherfucker. I'm like, I didn't even know I was a member. But I'm like, nigga, you got me convinced I'm a member. They put that shit in slow motion with the fingers contorted. And I'm throwing the diamonds up. I'm like, bitch, I thought I was gonna sneeze. And you froze that shit conveniently. I'm wearing black and white jacket, this, that, and that. I was like, why is he wearing a black and white jacket on a Breakfast Club? He's talking to all these people. I'm like, yo, bro, this making excuses for other people's success is crazy. You know, because it's out of insecurity for other people, because they would like to believe if they don't got it, then why do you got it? So they gotta find something wrong with you, so they don't have to come to terms with themselves that they're not making stronger strides. You're not incapable of being great. You're just being so fucking lazy that you're trying to find something wrong with the people that are being great. And unbeknown to you, you know, most of us had near life experiences. I call this experience death. And most of you believe in life after death. So if you believe in life after death, then that's a testament that this is death, because life comes after. So for years, people have been saying they believe in life after death. And basically what they've been telling you is every day. So from the time you're born, you're dying. It's just that we get tall at first, so it gives you the illusion that you're living, because you're getting taller. As you're a baby and you start going up from infancy to your adolescence into adulthood, you get this impression that you're living because you're getting taller. But from the time you come out the womb, you're actually dying. Life comes after this. So all this shit about, well, you know what? You can't take
Why he drop it like that? Like we didn't know that already. What the hell?
with you, the money, the cars, and that's the reason why I'm spending it, bitch. Like the reason why I'm spending the money is because I can't take it with me. The reason why I'm buying the cars is because I can't take it with me. So the question is the answer. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying that, like I'm gonna have an epiphany over this shit. Like, bruh, I know I can't take it with me. That gives me more reason to spend it. Exactly. You feel me? Like people tell me that I work with somebody. Like my pops a lot. I talk to him about eating better and everything like that. And he say, well, you know, I'm gonna die anyway. When I talk to him about eating better, I'm gonna die anyway. We're gonna die anyway.
Zion.
You know, such and such H swine, and they live to be 90-something years old. I'm like, yeah, but what about the quality of life? I'm talking about the quantity. I'd rather get out this bitch at 70, strong, right, than to be alive and be in desperation till 100, right. You know what I'm saying? Get me out of here strong. You feel me? So people always want to give you such and such H swine until 95. I'm like, yo, you want to talk about quantity, not quality. And the medical institutions prolong death. They don't prolong life. You feel what I'm saying? They'll keep you alive. They'll keep you dead. You know, there's another thing. People talk about making a living. You're making a death. You're not making a living. You feel what I'm saying? Even look at the word mortgage. Mortgage means death. And gauge is mortgage is a pledge or agreement. So you're making a pledge or agreement till you die. Why? Because the average person is not going to buy a house until they're about 30, 35 years old. Right? And then they want you to work until you're about 66, 67, so they get better benefits each time. So the average person will retire around 66, 67, right? And then you got 5 more years based on your lifetime expectancy to die. The average person is dying in our community. They lucky if they can see 72. Okay, so that's our mortality rate. So when you get a mortgage and you buy a house at the age of 30, around 35 years old, you get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. By the time you get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and presumably if you do get to pay it,
facts, big facts. We need to have a party on this motherfucker when he locked up.
You got about 7 years left before you die. Yeah. So it's a pledge of agreement until you die. It's a death pledge. And then they what they do? Well, they hypothecate the mortgage, which means they solicit your debt to other people. Long story short, what I'm telling you is, when you look up the word hypothecation, they do mortgage hypothecation as part of their flu fam. They scam the real estate community. What they do, because they do advanced metrics and have analytics that make them make a determination of how long will it take before you have to go into debt, because you couldn't afford the property that they gave you all these invisible funds for. That when you don't pay them, now the money's real. But you never had it in hand to manipulate or misappropriate. You just was approved for $400,000, $500,000 for a house, but you couldn't be approved for even $10,000 for a business. You feel what I'm saying? Well, fine, that's another conversation. But they
straight up never had a mortgage. He is capping.
Hypothecate the mortgage. What does hypothecate mean? To dig a hole when you go into it etymologically. So you are in a hole because of debt. So the mortgage is a death pledge, right? And then, or a pledge of agreement to die, mortgage. And then you have the hypothecation, which is a hole, because they dig a hole for you in terms of debt, metaphorically speaking. But that hole puts you in the grave because you're in debt straight until your death. And then foreclosure. Etymologically, the word foreclosure means to cast spirits away. So you don't put your whole life savings into this bitch. And then they take it from you. They take your whole spirit, your whole life force. You see, down to your last breath. So we look at these words, cast the spirit away, dig a hole.
Leave it to your family. Like, he act like when somebody die, they just lose their house.
Like to bury somebody, pledge of agreement till you die. This is not a game of semantics. You know, even the person who lies the most is impelled to tell the truth. Even in their lives, you can hear it. Hearing lies the truth. So even in the makeup, the composition of the words, when you see them etymologically, you can always see what their gender is. You see what I'm saying? To put you in debt from the very beginning straight into your death, so you never get an opportunity to enjoy this death. Because I'm about to have.
Because they both bullshitting, so they don't want you to see their eyes. Their eyes is that, your eyes are like the window to your soul.
Scientifically successful death. That's what I'm.
Polight does that often, where he'll come up here and lie.
The
glasses
you can take everything from me today, and I can say, man, I've accumulated enough success in this one lifetime. I'm about to turn 40 in probably 11 or 12 days, whatever day it is right now, on the 10th of August. And I can say,
and this was 2 weeks ago,
that for every materialistic thing that people say I acquired was a spiritual acquisition. Because when I was young, I conceived of having a $300,000 car. I remember watching the shiny suit videos with Puffy, and there's a guy named Bentley in the videos, and I was like, who's this Bentley guy? What is Bentley even? What is that? We didn't really have Google and shit like that. You know what I mean? That came out a little after. So I'm like, who's Bentley? And he's like, yo, you know what a Bentley is? It's car, shit's expensive. It's like, oh,
that's what's up, Zion. Fact.
$12,000. You get one of those. How? What you mean how? Ain't enough drugs for me selling you one of those. I'm like, damn, you ain't getting my plan. You're telling me I can't get it. Right. So what's your plan? I'm like, I'm gonna have it. My first car, my first luxury car was a Flying Spur. And it was an older Flying Spur. I was about 5 years old.
Fantastic. What's good, Leonard?
I put suede all over it. Now that shit up to date. Even to today, you see it today, it's still up to date because you never seen it before. I put suede because it don't rain in Southern California too.
You ain't never seen it again, probably. Okay, and when you do, it's because he's washing it for a celebrity.
This has been crazy, but traditionally it wasn't raining like that, right? And I got a special garage I keep my shit in. To this day, my first luxury car is a Flying Spur, and I put suede all over it. Now watch this. People were like, suede on a $300,000 car? And I'm like this. To you, it's materialistic. To me, it's materialization. I conceive this thought. I conceive this thought.
I hope he put the suede on the inside and not the outside, because knowing Polight, he would do some stupid ass shit like that.
On the mental realm, and no one bear witness to it. Everyone said I couldn't get it.
Yeah, he lives in hotels. Facts.
Right. I was the only one on earth that
hotels and Airbnbs
that knew me, that saw the vision. And then it materialized, so when I got it, the acquisition of me getting this physical thing, I made it manifest. And that's why I say you either dealing with manifestation or man-infestation. You either being productive or you being destructive. I manifested that.
Because you gotta, what it is that most people have to see it to believe it. But in order for it, really, you have to believe it in order to see it. And that's where you're coming from. You're coming from the fact that
they acting like they saying some deep ass shit.
I already believe it in my mind. So if I believe it in my mind, it's already a fact. It is what it is. I believe it before I see it. And that's how I got everything that I have in my life right now. Everything I acquired in my life, I visualize it first. I believe me having it first. See, off the top, I know I'm a great person. I don't gotta be great to anybody else.
No doubt.
I just know it within me.
No doubt.
I don't live up to nobody else's standards of who they think I should be. I live up to the standards that I know that I'm capable of. And that's why I want it. That's why I drive what I drive. That's why I wear what I wear. Because I know I deserve this. That's right. And that's the way I should live my life. And then,
why don't you have legs on your couch?
No motherfucking way on hell. I'm going to live my life on earth and live basic. I'm not going to get the less.
But not having the legs on your couch is basic.
I got one go around. I got one around at this life thing. And I'm going to live it to the best of my ability. And while I'm here.
This is what I'm saying. You know you're blessed. Because we know one desire begets another. So I got the abundance of women. You can call it whatever you want to call it. This is my testimony.
Good,
I got the type of women I ever wanted.
Right.
The type of women I wanted at the same time.
Right.
To do whatever I wanted to do at the same time.
Right.
I done lived the fucking dream. Right? And I feel I ain't gonna wake up.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I done got, these are the things important to me. It don't have to be important to y'all. Y'all gotta respect what's important to people. I wanted a lot of women. And I wanted high caliber women. I wanted voluptuous.
Facts.
Sapiosexual women. Women that get turned on from intellect. But look, drop dead gorgeous. I wanted that and I wanted them in waves at the same time.
Oh, so what he's saying is that his quote unquote wives, allegedly, even though they're not his wives, they get turned on by the intellectualness of Brother No Light and not the materialistic shit that he buys them?
Different days out the week. Wanted the money. I just come outside my house with enough money.
Right, to get what I want.
Conceivably to get what I want.
Yes, exactly.
You feel me? And if all else motherfucking fail,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You know,
People I want to black.
all else fail. You know, we might go a black card on them. If all else fail,
Right.
we might get these black cards. You know, I can still go 100,000 on that. If I want to if I feel someone's being racist, I'm used to Harriet Tubman
I
cards.
know he do not glue that shit on. I'm dead.
Like, you know, and remind them what the fuck going on. You know what I mean? So this is just really, this is a card. If I'm using this card, you know, the energy is feeling funny when I'm shouting at. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna make you feel that one. Or I give them this smart credit card. You know, the smart credit card, the X1. I give them that. You feel what I'm saying?
But you just went out to the Apple store and to Ralph Lauren and you paid cash. You didn't pay with none of them cards. You always just seem to like show the cards, have them on the table, hold them up, you know, wear it around your neck and shit like a lanyard. You know what I mean? Wear it on your side of your pants like a badge. But you never buy anything with the shits. I'm wondering why, Polight.
I give them this joint right here. So, you know, all I'm saying is basically, I'm too smart to be broke, and it costs too much to be poor. And anything you can take from me hasn't been something that already wasn't due me. So, the cars, the money, the lifestyle, the experience.
I mean, the best thing in this situation is this dude right here's waves. You know what I mean? That's about it.
I can tell you, this is going on year 6. I done been to 41 countries in the last 6 years. 41.
That's big, that's impressive.
How many people gonna die? It ain't been to 5. How many people gonna die? Ain't been to 10.
Unfortunately.
Man, you got celebrities that ain't been to 20.
That's a fact.
People that achieve millionaires.
How did you get there, Polight? Not off of your money, not legit money that you worked hard for. No, off of scamming other people.
Status and had millionaire status for 30 years in their life.
Max
And they ain't been to
75.
41 countries. And I did it in 6 years. I ain't count the countries I did behind the 6 years. That's a fact. But in the 6 years, I've been to 41 countries. I've been to almost more countries than we got states in America. So when I say I can leave Earth, because one desire, because
In most of them states, he was with Mayweather when he went there. So let's put that into the equation.
another. I've been to Egypt, I've been to Israel, I've been to Morocco, I've been to New Zealand, I've been to Ghana, I've been to Nigeria, I've been to Congo, I've been to South Africa.
Quick question. What's the difference between all those countries versus America?
Shit, I can tell you something about Ghana that's significant. You know, that's the only place I've been in the world that just because I'm black or African American, they have land and business opportunities for me in light of slavery. In America, we live for 4 years.
At least dude look decent. I'm just saying
If
shit.
you from America, pardon me, we looking for reparations from America. They ain't been to the reparations.
Exactly. Doesn't really matter if you've been to 41 countries when you're dead. And we all transition.
For our people in Ghana. We go over there right now. You go there, man with a plan. The government obligated themselves to you. I got business over there. But I took them up on a goddamn offer. You go over there, African American, like, yo, I'm gonna set some shit up. Government gonna work with you and get it set up. Then they don't, I'll connect you with one of the princes out there that's building
Thank you, Christopher.
his own city there, Accra, Ghana. His name is Nana Kwame Bidiaka. Yeah, brought me out there to work with
Don't
him
have the
on his
answers,
book.
like.
And also in him developing a whole city that he's looking to create, the Silicon Valley for Africa, right there in Accra, Ghana. Building a city. You talking about a black man building a city.
That's impressive. That's big. The possibilities.
Flew me out there.
Right.
You heard? Flew me out there when I land.
Me and Mayweather.
I'm gonna repost that video when I land. Bentley there, police security on motorbikes. The logo there, and that was crazy too, because the money got black people on it. That shit had me cooked. Never mind the jollof rice, and you know, there's always a debate who got the best jollof. Of course, Nigeria, I ain't trying to knock it. But, you know, Ghana's jollof was crazy. The Banku, the Okru, all this. You know, I'm going to different parts of the world. You know, a nigga say, you want to play with, you know, you want to see my cat? I'm like, yeah, it's a motherfucking tiger.
Right.
I go to Dubai, I'm playing with dolphins. And at the table, we got monkeys there. And if you pay any
He bought them shoes at the swap meet for $15 a shoe. Yeah, so he paid about $25, $30.
attention to them, you got to tap in periodically every 3 to 5 minutes. Or they get jealous, hit the cup out your hand. You got to give them a 5 or give them a hug. I'm eating there with multi-billion.
Not the bootleg 85 South Show. I'm dead. I just read that.
You know, out here with the money team, with Floyd. You know, in NASCAR, it's going 200, 300 miles an hour, turning, driving, everything like that. Experiencing shit. Tallest building in the world, biggest mall in the world.
Man, this nigga is skinny as hell.
7-star hotels, 8-star hotels. They 3-star hotel, our 5-star hotel. I gotta travel outside of your neighborhood, man. You feel me? Stop being prisoners to your own neighborhood. And I'm gonna tell you.
Why is it this dude looking over here? Like, do they got a camera over here? Let me find out that it was somebody holding this camera, and then there's another phone over one way recording them and another one on the other side. This shit janky as hell.
I made $4 million after that trip. $4 million that year. My motivation was so.
We know that Polight ain't make $4 without scamming somebody. He talking about some $4 million.
Different. Right. My speech was so different. Right. My conveyance was different because I'm saying this. Yo, we survived that shit. Somehow, somebody in our family survived and we were born. Right. You feel me? Because they was enslaving everyone all over. So you didn't even have to be part of that slave trade. Somehow you survived. Because black people was just open game.
Good preach. Y'all get these likes up, please.
You feel me? We got the energy of all of our ancestors that came before us, in us. Come on now. So that energy is there. Can I only impact life 200 years from now negatively? Or can I leave a mathematical genius or scientific genius imprint into their DNA, just like I can leave cancer or diabetes into their DNA? So,
are you gonna leave that predator shit in your kids' DNA? Or what? Because that's where he's talking about. See, I cut out a part where he was talking about diabetes and passing diabetes along, but you'll get the gist of it in a minute.
It's important that we be great in real time, because our hell would be to suffer the consequence to live in a body that we didn't properly prepare every year, because every year we exist perpetually through the blood link of our genealogy. Every year we impact our genealogy while we're alive and while we're dead, because you get blamed for the cancer, you get blamed for the diabetes years from now. So you also are to be held accountable for the success genes, for the drive, for the genius. You feel me? So we got a responsibility to be great now, because it's not just.
He probably will be making videos in prison, scam videos in prison. That's a fact.
Our children's have. Evidently, we still exist through them vicariously. So that's a hell of a.
Nature boy inside there holding the camera.
Me to know I didn't level up, so in the future I can live better through my genealogy. So the lazy shit you on today will affect your kids tomorrow. And you exist in them, because you're gonna get blamed because you.
What about the fucked up shit you do to other kids, Polight? Would that affect your kids tomorrow? Right? Are you gonna leave that imprint like you was talking about diabetes and all these type of other diseases and shit? You know, that you can inherit. I'm not sure, but can you inherit being a predator and raping somebody?
You still have a say. Because upon the stimulus of certain circumstances, events, food, and sounds, you're going to be springboarded to the front. And you're going to have to answer to the damn time that they're living in. And if you're unprepared, potential-wise, because you didn't prepare yourself in this day, you're going to have to live in a body that has to be decayed for the cancer and for the diabetes that you set the stage for, or from the ignorance that you set the stage for. Don't let them tell you.
She got the camera in her motherfucking cleavage and shit. She ain't supposed to be recording in there.
Truths. Oh, yeah, you can be blamed for the disease, but you're not going to be blamed for the genius or for the drive or for the determination. They all run concurrent. You can't just discriminate amongst attributes and only bestow upon our progeny the negative things. You feel what I'm saying? I just be sitting here, it just be coming through. It be downloading. People with waves just.
And then he said it be downloading. He using Nature Boy as talking point.
It's like you when you go to Egypt. It'll fuck your mind up, brother. Part of my language. When you see those waves, I've seen waves like that, and you may have thought you never seen them better than yours. Like, for real. You know, and if anything is better than your spin, man, you're gonna bear witness. Different. Them niggas was
if these shorts were any tighter or any shorter.
Nowadays, before the
good Jeanette.
Grease came out. Different. That's different. I promise you, I gotta go in and see it. You get wealthy and people can't recognize it's the same you. Like, how much of a disguise this is really on? You can't tell. Something's obscuring your visibility because you got something going on dormant and latent inside of you that's just not right. Your insecurities, you projecting your fears upon me, and now it's distorting your perception of reality. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get your life right. Gotta get your mind right, get your life right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And that's just basically what it is. Don't let my success make you feel insecure. And I'm not gonna pacify who I am. That's right. You know what I mean? That's right. Just to make you feel good about yourself. You gotta level up, man. You gotta meet me where I'm at. I'm not coming down. I'm only going up. You know what I'm saying? And that's
don't take the mint condition sunglasses off and talk to us like a human.
Motivation. And you know what I noticed too, man? People are not self-motivated. They gotta be self-motivated. You can't wait for your homeboy, your homegirl, your partner, your lover, your friend. You gotta be self-motivated to go out there and get it. Make it happen. every day. You start to do something every day that's going to take you towards your goal.
Kitty films.
Peace.
I feel you, Jeanette, but I'm not looking forward to it. But my kids are. They ready as hell. My daughter will be in the 9th grade this year.
Self-motivated. That's what inspires me. I inspire me. Yeah, that's what I did. I inspire me. I look at myself and see I can be more. I can do more. When I'm at the gym, instead of just penny pinching and bucking around, I can do one more rep. I can go a little bit harder. You dig? Because I know who I am. You gotta know who you are. And when you know who you are, that's when you're gonna
not adjusting her implants.
strive for greatness and reach your higher self.
Abundance is Brother Polight.
All right, now this was the main one. Now about, I don't know, like 15 minutes into it, he gonna talk about the mortgage scams and all this and that, right? But about 15 minutes into this portion right here, he kind of get to talking about other shit, and I definitely think that we had to pull up for it. So all that other shit was just capping or whatever. I put it in there because I knew that I had some things that I wanted to point out to ask a genuine question about. And also I was capping on their ass. But this more serious or whatever right here, after the 15 minutes, because he gonna make some statements. He basically trying to make it seem like, this is just something that the government go after, like, strong black males type of shit. He ain't gonna say it like that, but that's where he going with it. You know what I'm saying? So I thought we would pull up to it because it even seems like he sneaked this in SANETER and some other content creators that are speaking out about the story. Not saying that SANETER is, but I'm saying that, other people. But anyway, let's get back.
We're here for another installment to really talk about the tricks and the traps. Let's look at the word mortgage. Mortgage means pledge or agreement till you die. Mort as in mortuary, right? So mort means death. Engage is a pledge or agreement. So that's a pledge or agreement till you die. Right. Makes perfect sense because the lifetime expectancy in our community is for the age 72. We're supposed to die around the age 72. Most people won't become homeowners until around the age 30, 35 years old. They get serious or they start buckling down and they get themselves a home. So by the time you're age 35, you get yourself a home, you get yourself a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So when you get yourself a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, what happens? Once you get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you'll be about 65 years old.
Dude did kind of look like I'll be sure's nephew or grandson or some shit.
When you fulfill that particular debt obligation. And it's pretty much a debt obligation until you die, a pledge or agreement until you die. And so words are our GPS to reality. We can speak ideas, our greatest conceptions into existence. Also, the words that we use can pose as a detriment to our reality, or they're signifiers for what a person's intention is. So we know a mortgage is a pledge or agreement till you die. They've been giving us mortgages, right? Mortgage. Then you have it where the mortgages are hypothecated. Now, what is a hypothecation? A mortgage hypothecation. That's when you use the asset as collateral, right? And you're using the asset, which would be the house, as collateral, and the lender holds the title. Let's think about that. Use the asset as a title, and the lender, right, holds on. You use that asset, as collateral, and the lender gets to hold on to the title. That's interesting because you're accepting a loan that you don't really receive. You don't get the monies in your possession to misappropriate or to pay out. You receive a loan that you never have access to, right? And the collateral is the very asset that you received the loan for. Maybe you don't hear the fraud. So we're gonna go over this again. Okay? All of this is taking place to back the loan. We're gonna do this again. I'm on 2 different phones, Facebook and IG. Let's do this again. Mortgage means pledge or agreement till you die. Because by the time
what good burger at?
You pay a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and by the time you purchase the home, you have a few more years left in your life before you'll die, and that house will no longer be occupied by you. You would have spent most of your life paying for the debt obligation. So it's a pledge or agreement till you die. That's what the mortgage is. The intention behind the mortgage is to keep you in debt for the rest of your life. That's going to happen to most people. Okay? Now, you have the mortgage that is hypothecated, right?
That don't sound right at all, because I know people that have left other people their house when they passed away.
Which is the means to which end where they use the asset as collateral so you can manage the loan, and the lenders are going to do what? Keep the title. So they're giving you the
remind me of like a 5-year-old, like a 5th grader trying to like tell you something they learned new at school. But I will say that I don't feel like they really talk about this in school. I don't know about now, but when I was going to school, they did not really teach this, in like high school or anything like that, and they should have.
Opportunity to have the asset as collateral for the loan that you really never received. And what they'll do is keep the title, which means you never really own the house. You own the house under what's called a conditional interest. This is fraud. I'm going to let you have something.
It's a fact. A lot of people pay off their homes. I know my mom has had 2 homes and she paid off both of them already.
But I'm not going to let you really have proof that you own it. And I'm going to let you have something and you can use that which I give you. I'm going to use that which I give you as collateral. Typically, collateral is if I was to collateralize an agreement such as this one, legally, there should be an asset for an asset, right? Or there should be a repossession of something outside of the immediate asset. But in this particular working model, there's not a house for a house. The house is the asset. I don't know if people walk with me. They hypothecate mortgages by collateralizing the very asset that you are looking to acquire. The very asset that you believe you purchased is collateralized. And you never get the title because the asset that you think you own is the collateral. And that's why when you get the deed to the property, it might be a warranty deed or it might be a tenancy deed. Like you're a tenant of your own household. Like you're just paying rent. And that's basically what mortgage is you paying rent, right? So they hypothecate the mortgage. And when we go into the etymology of the word hypothecate, it takes you into the word hole. Because when you're in debt, you feel like you're in a hole.
No, he ain't got no degrees or nothing. Now, Zion Facts had spoke about how she went on somebody's channel to talk about Polight's, scams and stuff like that. But yeah, we've seen JT, the pocket watcher, go through it, and he's done a great job as well. So it's like, it's a lot of people calling it out. I just threw this in there because it was in there. And at this point, I'm really just, by doing this, trying to show that he basically pitches the same line every time. So if somebody is over on his channel or his page or whatever on Instagram, they're hearing the same shit over and over and over again every day. Like there's no growth. It's not really nothing new that he's bringing to the table, and he's not the creator of it. But let him tell it, he created everything.
But when you're burying somebody, you create a hole, right? Because remember, mortgage is a pledge or agreement till you die. And when someone dies...
Right. Zion Facts right here said he's saying a whole lot of nothing. Now, she's the one that was speaking about, what was that? On Neo's channel, Neo X channel, I think it was, about the situation as well,
Tend to dig holes for that person to put them in. So now we know hypothecation is a hole accumulated by way of debt, and the debt is meant to be paid until you die. Think about it. So death, hole, and then eventually you can't handle the agreement and you get foreclosed upon. And then when you look at the word foreclosure, etymologically, when we go deep into its meaning, we'll see that it means to cast away spirit. So when a person dies and we dig that hole up for them to bury them in, it's presumed that their spirit has left their body. Your life force, you put all your life savings into purchasing this property. Most times unless, presumably, this is what people do.
And this is the same shit that he was talking about at Cash's house.
Do everything in their power to maintain their house and then put nice things in it, furnishings in their house. And then when they lose their house, they lose their spirit because their life savings have been invested into that property. So we can see the intention behind the words is what I'm talking about. We can look at the intention. Look at the intention behind these words. Mortgage, pledge or agreement to die. Hypothecate, mortgage hypothecation. To dig a hole. And foreclosure, to cast away a spirit. Maybe death, burial, and spirits being casted. This is all necromancy, disguised as real estate. Are you walking with me? I'll say it again. This is all necromancy, right? The practice, the religion of death, right? This is all necromancy, described, right? Or disguised, I should say. Necromancy, disguised as real estate. The intention is to play.
What?
The intention is to make sure you have nothing left to offer. The intention is to spread you so thin, pause, that you don't have the capabilities to make investments outside of the only asset that you purportedly have.
Right.
Because technically you don't even have that.
Nah, he's not even saying that. He's just saying mortgage is a trap. He's probably low-key saying it so that he can justify him living in Airbnbs or hotels. Really, in reality, you know, it family size, his size would cost, you know, a little bit more than just maybe one person doing it. But, you know, it is what it is, because sometimes living in a hotel can be expensive to where it's more than an average rent or mortgage. But this dude right here don't have even the ability to get a mortgage, because in reality, I don't think his credit is shit either. So if the person that's pitching the credit restoration programs credit is fucked up, then, you know, and also I did a background check recently on Polight, right? Now, in the last, you know, amount of time or whatever, I don't even remember, child, but we've done background checks on Polight, you know, and I brought some of the information here, right? Now it says Polight died in 2022. Like, no, 2000 and yeah, 2022 or some shit. I gotta get the thing. I got the PDF file, but he like killed himself off through, I might pull it up, but he killed himself off through I'll probably have to upload it, so I'm gonna have to show it next time. But it said that basically he been dead for the last 2 years. Like, so 2000, I think it was like 2020 or 2021, where it's saying now that he's deceased. It legit says he's deceased, and it's him. And I know it's him because of some of the other markings that was in the file. The part about the case, I don't even think is there. If I remember, I looked it up and I seen that and I downloaded it, because each time you download the PDF file, it may change far as like the information in there. So you might need to download it and get a recent one. But yeah, his shit said that he was fucking deceased. So what kind of shit is this nigga trying to like pull off right now type of shit?
That, because you don't
I
have
got it, but I don't know if like I pop it up if it's gonna be shown or whatever. But yeah, I got
the
that
title
shit.
Because your asset is collateralized until you fulfill the loan.
This. It's so almost to the part to where I got something to say. I think it starts at like 50 minutes.
The lender keeps the title, and
we're at 46.
Guess what? When they look to foreclose upon you, how do we slow down or stop foreclosures often? Well, my company normally, at the very least, buys you years of time by just asking for the original holder in due course. Because we know that the original agreement has been solicited because you purchased that property under a conditional interest. This is extremely important information, because all of us should be aspiring homeowners, technically, right? And I say that because the housing scheme is just that. It's a scam. So I wouldn't really suggest people purchase properties in the conventional manner unless they really had a sizable amount of income. And even then, I would still question the way they approach purchasing properties. I would always say purchase something based on its past due delinquency. You know, foreclosed homes. I would say purchase a tax deed. I would say purchase a tax lien. And if nobody redeems, then get the property for the amount equal due based on delinquency, not the amount equal to its fair market value or assessed value. Because it's a scheme. It's a form of entrapment. And if you can't break out of it, then you wind up doing a short sale, selling the property for little to no profit to avoid going through bankruptcy, which to stay on your credit for about 7 years, unless you have Brother Polight to help you come out of bankruptcy. These are the issues that we're facing today. Stuff like this. And imagine this, making an error in judgment as far as investing in an asset only for...
Hold on, I want to prove my point right quick because I don't want to forget to do so. Hold on really quick. Let me drop this one. We'll go right back there. So this isn't the site that I go to, but it also showed up on this one when I just looked. So I've been on this site before, but right here you got Michael E. Noak, right? Let me make this big. You got Michael E. Noak. Now, you're going to see it's him. His birthday is August 10th, 1983, but you know, they don't have the right date of birth or whatever, but this is him. You feel me? Anyway, that's not what I was finna show y'all. What I was finna show y'all is, Look right here. It says August 16th, 2021, which is a day before he was charged with that conviction. He died allegedly on here at the age of 38. And that's why it states that he has not, that he's not 40 now because he's allegedly dead, y'all. So Polight is a walking zombie in this bitch. Like, what the fuck is going on, y'all? Y'all better get up. Like, and it says young phenom. And if for y'all that don't know, he came in the game claiming young phenom. Noak58 at Gmail. Okay. Amon Ray and Tomb Ray at Gmail. This is him, bro. And it only shows a speeding ticket from 2011. But if you go down, it says that he fucking died. Yeah, so he killed his alter ego. And understand that this date is the day before he was charged with that sexual offense. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So is he finna change his name to some other shit? Did he already do that? Like, this is fraud right here, though, because he's not dead. We're watching a video, this video that he did about a week ago. Okay? So why is he dead now? Y'all see this, right? Do I need to zoom it in a little bit more? I don't want nobody to be fucked up. This nigga is dead, okay? Period. Michael E. Noak, and that's why it stops at 38. But we know he was born August 10th, 1983. That would have made him 40 this year. This him. And when you go to traffic and all that, it ain't finna bring up the offense. It's gonna bring up the speeding. But under here, I know because I be fucking around on this site and other sites sometimes or whatever, but I got another way that I do it. But it's the same information that I got on my other one. I just was like, because sometimes when I share screen from my computer on something that's on my computer and it's not uploaded to YouTube or something like that, and I can't upload a PDF file, I'd have to record it. So, bam, you know what I'm saying? This nigga, like, that's him. There is no other Michael E. Noak up in there. So this nigga tried to kill off his alter ego and act like he's dead. So we back on his ass because he's definitely right here in the flesh. Okay. Like, how do y'all feel about that? Right. It is illegal to fake your death, right? Frauding death too. Facts. And notice that he allegedly died the day before. Let's go. I can even, because I like to show and prove over here. Because I was just thinking about it like, oh yeah, and I did because I had some extra time and at work. Like, we can do other things or whatever, but you got to be able to like put that to the side for a second if need be, right? But let me look up on here so I can show y'all. What was I finna show y'all again? His birthday and shit like that. And the date that the case started. So you just seen on there that he claimed that he died August 16th, 2021. Now on here, I'm gonna have to switch it over to, hold on. Okay. On here, if we press right here, because we already put in Michael E. Noak. You see Noak, Michael Jr. His date of birth is 8/10/1983. And the date that this was filed was what, Royal Family? 8/17/2021. So he claims that, he died the day before he was charged with this shit. This is fraud. He is still alive. Is this what he claims that he'll do for, people that do his program? Now, nothing on here as far as the sequence has changed since we're here. We might as well take a look. Nothing has changed on here. He's still set to go to this sentencing hearing on September 6th. So we got about 3 weeks left, right? But like, what is really going on here, right? Because right here, the date that this charge was filed was 8/17/2021. He claims that he died on the 16th. This is fraud. And if he's doing this for other people, then he on some fraudulent shit that could end up getting people in trouble. You know what I mean? Like, maybe people need to know about that shit. I don't think it's something to just, kind of, overlook, because let's say they do have him register as a sex offender, or there's some little loophole or some shit, and because he's dead, it doesn't appear. Like, it's not counting up his age, it's only counting to where he allegedly died, but he's alive. So if he died, then obviously he can't be charged with them charges, but we know he's not dead. So there's some fraud shit. Facts, definitely fraud. But let's continue, because we almost at the part to where I feel like he was dry snitching. This shit is crazy, y'all. And I'm glad I just thought about that, because that is one of the things that I wanted to call out to y'all. Like, this nigga just literally faked his death. You know what I mean? Like, and it said death certificate on there. So where in the fuck did this nigga submit a death certificate when he's alive? Like, does Miami know this? Because he allegedly supposed to be dead. The fuck? Like, how is he going to court? He going to court as the Walking Dead? He the Walking Dead conscious nigga and shit? Come on, man. It's not making sense to me, y'all. Much love. Shout out to you as well. So let's get back into it, y'all. I'm going to step away for a second, but I'll be right back. But this dude is about to start talking about some shit in a second, and I'll be here.
You to have to be penalized for 7 years forward. Imagine that. This is why my mentorship is so very important. So you don't make these errors. And if you had made these errors, if you found yourself making these errors, we can help dig you out of that hole. When you're ready to purchase our program for $2,000, we're going to remove negative items off your report. We're going to add positive items to your report. We're going to boost your credit scores. And then we're going to leverage those results so you can meet the criteria for our goal to get you anywhere between 50 grand to 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. We're also going to help you get way better credit cards, $50,000 and upward limits, making sure that you don't have late fees on your credit cards, making sure that you could turn off the credit reporting of your credit card. These are great opportunities, because now your credit card becomes an investment vehicle. Because if you could turn off credit reporting, and if you don't get late fees, then you have more of a means to invest with a clear conscience. And so not only are we boosting your credit scores, we're giving you opportunities to also get funding, 6 figures worth. You get a caseworker that'll deal with your credit needs exclusively and immediately, right? And then you'll also have what? Me at your disposal as your mentor, whereby I give you a plethora of knowledge, where you have a wide range of ideas how you may want to invest the money and grow it into a large amount. Then you have the website where you can track your results. You can see the deleted items as we remove them and the positive items as we add them. And then you can also add notifications to your phone. That's right. You can add notifications to your phone. So you're a caseworker, you get a mentor, you get to add notifications to your phone. You get a website, you can track your results. And you also can communicate with admin by website where you can contact your caseworker or your mentor. Nobody's doing that.
It's doing that thing again. But I think that's crazy, though. I don't want to speed past that death part. That shit's crazy and illegal.
And how dare someone talk to you about credit funding? Or how dare someone talk to you about credit repair and never talk to you about funding, because they run simultaneously? What's the purpose of having good credit if you can't get funding? If you don't got a business, we'll help create one.
Christopher said I'm faking mine tomorrow. You bet not. Christopher, you will not be here no more. Period. They gonna lock your ass up. You gonna be right up in there with him.
So you can get funding for your business. And if you do have a business, we most likely have to teach you how to get funding for your business, because many of you have businesses and never.
I wonder, like, what name he's claiming now. Like, how is this gonna work out, though? Because, I mean, he's going to court. That means he's gonna enter into the prison system. Like, how you entering into the prison system as a dead man?
Had funding, which is extremely weird. Extremely weird. So you work in jobs, but you have a business.
And is that how he's stopping your credit thing, because he's telling them that you died? Like, that's not right.
And you're funding your business through the job that you have instead of your business being funded. So again, you're spreading yourself thin. And this is all because of a lack of education, because these things are not taught in the public school system, unfortunately. Now, you know what we do in our program. We don't deal with no gossip. We don't deal with no rumors. We don't talk about other people's business. We don't speculate about other people's business. We get straight down to business. We encourage you to erect your
The scamming
business. It gives you access.
and he wants to erect your business.
Anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. That's our goal. And to also make sure you get a mentor, which is myself, to prepare you for the monies that will be coming in. So you have a wide range of ideas how you may want to invest those monies, which I'm going to do a live stream and break down the many sciences that you can employ to do what? The many sciences that you can employ to erect a business with a limited amount of funds. But in this particular case, you won't have a limited amount of funds, but I want you to limit the amount of funds you extract out of the monies that you get. Would I consider doing a podcast? I think about podcasts, but I don't like the time and energy I'm gonna have. I don't want it to feel like a job. You know, these live streams take a lot out of me in itself.
Doesn't your scam shit feel like a job to you?
I don't want to. I'm not really interested in interviewing people. I think this is just my route. These live streams. I'm not really interested in. I'm kind of introverted and extroverted. I'm not kind of, I'm both. I'm an introvert and I'm an extrovert. A lot of times I'm just not interested in people in general.
So when you deal with the people that you allegedly work for, right, you're mentoring and you're working with to build their credit, how do you feel about that? Like, you don't like working with people, but that's part of your job. You're offering to thousands of people that you will mentor them and help their credit. You would have to talk to them, Polight. You would have to, interact with them, Polight.
I'm not entertained. I'm not easily impressed.
Shout out to Light Bearer.
I do a lot of thinking, and therefore I disagree with a lot of people's perspectives. However, it doesn't mean that there isn't multiple ways to achieve.
Yeah, but that's still illegal, Jeanette.
The same goals or similar goals.
I mean, if he had bomb credit, why would he need to tell them that he's dead? And how deep does that go? Because on that, what I just showed you, it said that there was a death certificate filed on that date. That's fraudulent. That's more than just telling just the credit bureau that you're dead. You had to have submitted some type of paperwork. You know what I mean? Oh, I know you know, but I'm just saying, like, damn, bro.
So
that is sus. And I was wondering, like, what he meant by turn things off. Like, he can just turn off your credit reporting. And ain't no telling what, if there is an app, that you're going to get all these notifications about, and they're stopping this and they're doing this. There's no telling what they're really putting on there, if it's the truth of what they're really doing or not. And if you're not educated enough to just be able to look your own shit up or look into your own shit, then they could be doing all type of shit that's going to end up getting you in trouble in the end. I'm no financial expert or whatever, but you know what I'm saying?
It's just so time consuming, the way I look at the podcast, because I don't even really watch podcasts too much. The way I look at it, I'm like, that.
Facts, Nazari.
The way I would approach it, it would probably require too much of me. But I think I would be extremely successful at the podcast world. Well,
I don't think he's going to like the prison food, and he's probably not going to like commissary either.
I wouldn't say think like I'm indecisive. I know I would be extremely successful because anything that I endeavor to do has worked out within the past 10 years. But, I don't know. I'd rather be interviewed.
Right.
And people deal with all those other things. So I still think about it. I play with the idea, but I don't know. I play with the idea. For me, I've been lecturing for years. I've been doing debates for years. And then doing these live streams and mentoring and doing consultations. So I'm talked out a lot of times. I've achieved enough success where when given the opportunity to just spend time with my children, travel the world, hang out with my women, play with my toys, my cars and stuff like that, things that I'm interested in, that people say, man, why don't you do this and why don't you do that with your money? I'm doing what I want to do with my money. I worked hard. I got to this point. I'm doing what I want to do at this particular point. I don't want to feel obligated to anything in particular.
But most of the things that he's talking about is things that depreciate on purchase. Like right when you buy a car, you spend money to go on a vacation. That money is, you're going to get some good memories or whatever, but what does it mean in the end?
I worked really hard to just get to where I got to go. But
like, you're not gonna make money off of that doing that. You're not. I mean, you can make money off of a car, but cars also cost money. I get it. I got a couple myself, but just like what he's talking about and trying to be fresh as hell and all this and that, he's not teaching or setting a good example, I should say.
I've been wanting to do the podcast thing, but I ain't wrap my mind
Good, Emmanuel.
around it. You know, I just don't want to feel like I'm letting people down if I don't show up with as much as episodes as they want. And then again, I don't want to talk
Right.
about other people's business. I don't think that's what podcasts are exclusive to. But I think that it looks like that's kind of like how it works. Like, interview people and ask them about things, and sometimes that bleeds into asking them about other people, and then your relationships with people become a bit askew because now.
So, Emmanuel, I just showed earlier where Polight has on his background check, his credit check and all that, he has it to where it appears that he's dead and that he died August 16th, 2021, into which this video is, you know, about a week old maybe. So he definitely out here scamming like that. And I was wondering, is that how he, you know, cuts off you know, reporting or whatever on credit, you know, people that trust in him and believe in him. Whatever's going on, there's some crazy shit going on. So if you're just checking in, make sure you rewind it and watch the other parts of the stream.
Now, if somebody, even if I say the words and the opinions of the guests on my show don't necessarily reflect views of my very own, who's going to still separate me from that?
But does he really have bills to pay, Jeanette? You know, he's living in a hotel or an Airbnb. He probably only has like a cell phone payment. Shit, he might have Obama phones for all of them, like, period.
That's a friend of mine. If somebody else is interviewed by me and then they say or give disparaging remarks about another person, I don't want to be part of that energy, man. I just want to drop science.
Because you couldn't. And we're not just doing it polite just to do it. We're doing it because you got caught with 6 semen stains on a 14-year-old of a woman that you were dating. Like, that's sick. That's perverted. That's nasty. And you should, you know, have this situation shown on the mega screen. You know, they should make a movie about your ass, for real, because you're a manipulating ass, pervert ass nigga that shouldn't have been in this or any community to begin with. You belong like locked in a cage somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Period. Like an animal. Because only animals would, you know, do something like that. See a child of their species and want to fuck it. Like, what the fuck is going on with this nigga?
Get to work. And I'm sure there's a way to really limit that type of energy. And a lot of that responsibility is on the interviewer. Granted. But, you know.
I seen one time, right? And this might be a little off, but I seen one time on like a nature channel where, you know, they said that after a woman elephant has her baby or whatever, male elephants will start to attack her, you know, their children and stuff like that to get, you know, sex from the woman elephant, the mother elephant. And this male elephant was just beating the shit out of this baby elephant. Couldn't have been maybe a couple of months old or whatever. I don't know. It was still big, but I'm just saying. But he was just beating the shit out of his elephant. And I'm just looking like, why would he think that this nigga beating her child would make her want to like open her legs and give him some sex? Like, it's just that type of mentality that is Polight and like even SANETER. Like, these niggas think fucked up. And then they try to put it off on other people like it's our way of thinking. Nah, nigga, y'all the ones out here talking about the same stupid shit and advocating for these same type of predators every day.
Like I said, sometimes I'm introverted and I don't even like people. I'm extremely disappointed in people on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes I just don't want nothing to do with people. I don't even want to engage people. If people that really know me.
Yeah, nature boy too, facts. A lot of these niggas is just sick.
No, I'll take myself to the movies.
And I believe a lot of these females is sick. It just ain't been exposed yet.
I'll take myself out to dinner. I'll train. You know, I go out by myself. Do my Krav Maga, do my boxing.
Like Napasha, dog.
Do my calisthenics. I have full days just by myself. And then other times, I'll go outside.
Yeah, because now you're thinking about going to prison for, you know, however long, John.
I'm with like a group of 50 freaking people going to the club. Like, I just switch from one to the other. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm in that mood. So I'm saying all that to say that I might be in a podcast space where I'm going hard for like a whole month, and then I don't want to deal with nobody for like 3 months right after. And I don't want to.
And you could do that if you want to.
Do that because I don't like to be inconsistent. Yeah, you know, and you guys, you say you want the old brother Polight, and I hear that, and I feel that. You want the old brother Polight.
But he can't give you the podcast Polight because then he would have to network with other people, and he wants to be the only one to be notarized or whatever. That's why he'll settle for these little hour-long scam grabs and shit like that, and then push on with the people that he has recently scammed. You know what I mean? And whatever he claims to be doing in the background, whatever. Like, this dude is sick. I'm sorry. Like he is sick.
But you know, when they come after you, then you never believe it's really a governmental plot. And a lot of us aren't educated enough. I got something coming out.
So now he's going to claim that the reason why he's going through all this in court is because of a government plot. He's going to say that he got video or some type of proof that he's going to show, right? Whether it be a whole bunch of little clips about, you know, various things or whatever of how this plot to lock up Brother Polight, you know, he's running with this all black men are a target type of situation. And some black men are, but some also, you know, do things to make the situation worse. Like when people are pulled over and they just flipping out and and then they aim for a gun and then the cops shoot them. You know what I'm saying? So not all situations. I'm not saying that in that situation, it could have been a number of things, but I'm just saying like, he's trying to play this thing like he's like Bill Cosby or somebody else, you know, that, you know, how with R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and them, they came out and acted like, well, because they were black men, the government wants to lock them up and shit like that. But that is not what happened. And it definitely did not happen in this situation. This man abused that little girl. He could have very well killed that little girl because allegedly in the reports, it says that he had given her pills as well as alcohol, and the two together could have caused her to OD, which is why he was, you know, putting his fingers down her throat at some point in time after he had abused her, you know, because to get charged with something like this would have been one thing. Maybe he felt like he could have talked the mother out of reporting it, which he tried, but that didn't work. But if this child would have been dead in that hotel room, he would have had to answer to more, and it really would have been a more severe case. But this nigga is sick. Like, that girl could have died. She could have went into a coma. It could have fucked her brain up, and he wouldn't have not known what to do to save her life because clearly he wasn't trying to get her any medical help.
That's going to show and prove that there's a government plot, right? And you guys just got to understand.
Scam grab.
By the time a brother breaks down, the government is after me and this, that, and the third. What could have been done wouldn't have been done because we are not moving as a cohesive unit as a people. So a lot of you brothers and sisters got to understand that when I move a certain way, it's for my own protection. If my activities look a little too niggerish for you sometimes, because it probably is. Stop it.
So that just tells me right there that he's going to do something crazy as hell, maybe some niggerish shit in the upcoming days or whatever. Maybe, you know, with this plea, you know, it could be a number of things. It's something going on. So it's definitely not what he's just putting out there on the table. He's trying to speak in code in a way.
Maybe that's because it probably is. I'm doing it on purpose for a reason. I'm moving like that on purpose. You feel what I'm saying? Because no one's going to take care of my family after they kill me.
So he just said that if I'm niggerish, we going to rewind it, then that's what it is, because basically nobody's going to take care of his family. So is he finna try to snitch on somebody?
It's really a governmental plot. And a lot of us aren't educated enough. I got something coming out that's going to show and prove that there's a government plot, right? And you guys just got to understand. By the time a brother breaks down, the government is after me and this, that, and the third. What could have been done wouldn't have been done because we are not moving as a cohesive unit as a people. So a lot of you brothers and sisters got to understand that when I move a certain way, it's for my own protection. if my activities look a little too niggerish for you sometimes, because it probably is. Stop, baby. That's because it probably is. I'm doing it on purpose for a reason. I'm moving like that on purpose. You feel what I'm saying? Because
woo, child, a Rico case, boy.
Because no one's gonna take care of my family after they kill me, after they lock me up. Like, who's gonna take care of my family? You know?
Who's gonna kill you, Polight? You mean the? Never mind. Anyway, oh my God, Polight. So he worrying about his kids and his family now that he's days, closer to his next court date, into which at some point in time they are going to lock him up. He does not have any good time or anything like that at this point. So he's serving whatever they give him. And I'm not saying they're gonna give him 25 years or whatever. That would be nice, because this nigga is a predator. His intentions were to violate that girl, and he did to some point, right? And we need to get these people off of the streets, period. But now he's like trying to make himself some type of victim, and whatever he's gonna do it because his family and shit. And this sounds like snitching to me.
The second you start saying, "Hey, please, can you guys help me out?" They're gonna say, "Yeah." They'll rather make fun of you for being poor and your family not having resources before they say, "Man, this brother contributed and dedicated so much of his time to his community. The least we could do is make sure of his family needs." Not only do they have, but they have beyond measure. Because then other people would say, "Well, how much is that person supposed to get?" Like the person that put themselves out on Front Street, the person.
So is he saying now that the conscious community should raise up money and send to his baby mamas, his fake wives, while he's locked up? Ain't that what the Crip's supposed to do, Polight? Because you still gangbang with them niggas. Remember when SANETER tried to say to my 14-year-old daughter's a gangbanger? Here's your gangbanger, nigga.
Who had snipers on buildings, pointing their guns at me to intimidate me while I'm on C-SPAN, while I'm on CNN, while I'm on Fox 5. While I get millions of views on the Breakfast Club or Vlad TV or any of these other places. Not for speaking about negative people, not for gossiping.
You talking about views.
But for breaking down the medical industry, for breaking down actual history that they won't teach in schools, for breaking down socio-political sciences that we wasn't cognizant of, and how that reformation in thought is.
Why aren't you ever talking about your scams? Like, okay, you Googled some shit, you looked and read some books, watched a couple videos, gathered up some information, came in, regurgitated it, right? But what about your scams? Because nobody's calling you out for anything that you teach other than your scams. We are well aware that the medical industry has done our people bogus. We well aware of that. And that's great that you're doing live streams like that. But what about the scamming, bruh?
The fuel and the motivation, the springboard for a lot of people to change their thought process and do better in their immediate household, their communities, and abroad. Once they come for you, right? The people generally go with the first thing that they hear. And then when
what?
And everything gets dispelled and you find out, oh shit, all of that was a lie anyway. The damage has already been done and our people already fell for the flu.
What was a lie? If it was a lie, you would hurry the fuck up and get done with this case. You would have already presented your shit. You would have been the main one in there. Like, hell nah. Your attorney wouldn't be trying to continue shit out, hoping that the victim forgets her story.
They're already disagreeing amongst each other. Is it real? Is it not? And all the while, they accomplish their goals. So you got to understand. I just have to do it a little differently because people are still upset about my political debates. They're still upset about my religious debates. I had a great impact. They wouldn't be that upset if I wasn't impactful. But these things hit millions of views. And if it hits millions of views, there's so many different platforms and places for people to stream and extract excerpts and put YouTube shorts and all these other stories. And
no, he got a attorney or whatever. He's a paid attorney, but he ain't really did shit this whole time, but get continuances. This last 60-day continuance included. After the regular judge said no more continuations, they came back the last time that he had court, what was the 7th of July, and they asked for a 60-day continuance. But this next time he supposed to take the plea or some way, somehow continue on with the case. You know what I mean? So he does have a paid for attorney, but the attorney really ain't did nothing. if I knew I didn't do it, I'm not finna drag the case on. I've seen people catch murder cases and feel like they could fight the case or whatever. And you know, they are asked for a speedy trial and they were going to trial within 9 months.
Facebook and Twitter and Threads, and like I'm all over the place, man. I got pages, and I don't even got pages on most of these platforms.
Now, granted, some of the times where there was a continuance, you know, it wasn't always because of the defense, but they didn't put up no, like, come on, we're trying to get this case done. Or I'm not saying they got to talk like that in court, but you know, there was no speediness on their part to get to, you know, the continuation with this trial. They just wanted to keep continuing it as well. You know what I mean? Like, the process has been held up on their side a few times, and we pointed those out.
I'm saying I got pages that's booming with my name on it, and it's not even me. And I got people who
now he's also trying to act like he's not this channel on YouTube called Rycon 2.
They need to get some views, whether it's good or bad. They put me up there on their page and they get their views. But at the end of the day,
yeah. Or that his brother Polight page still isn't up there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when they come for you, they come for you, man. You just got to deal with the consequence. You feel me? When they come for you, they come for you. And they always come in such a way that it's always a question like, nah, you know, people will be, you know, this is a country that illegally experimented on black people. This is a country that manipulated the DNA of black people onto this revenue.
So we know that DNA is one of the biggest portions in this case, the 6 semen stains that was found on the girl's scarf and shirt. However, Polight seems to have an issue with this. But if you guys remember a few weeks ago or whatever, Enki had exposed that Polight had a book that was called DNA something. I had the thing, but basically that DNA is facts or whatever. And he allegedly wrote this book. We know that it was probably plagiarized, but now he seems to have a problem with the DNA evidence, this, that, and the other. Like, he's even talking like he's guilty.
Every day. This is a country that castrated black people, like ripped out.
Facts, Leonard, facts. Rycon is definitely him.
I'll scroll.
I think there's a Rycon, a regular Rycon and a Rycon 2.
Ripped out our nuts, double castrated us at times, you know. Made us into eunuchs, like cut off our penis, right? This is a country who the white males raped the black males. They had sex plantations where the white males would sexually brutalize.
So now is he saying because this was done to a group of people during that time frame that makes it okay for what he did, or he learned it through lineage, you know, genetics, it's in his blood. Ooh, it's in his blood, right? From this being done to like his ancestors, even though he's not from America. And nobody could tell me that this nigga is from America, period. He definitely was like a refugee child brought over here. He was probably on one of them commercials with the fly on the eyeball. And I'm not trying to make fun of them children, but if you looked further into it, those were scams that was ran. They could have gave that village or that area that amount of money that they paid for the commercial and just kept it moving. You know what I mean? It was a scam. And Polight was probably one of them kids, but now he's grown into, you know, to be an adult male. So we're not remembering his face. I'm going to find it though. I'm going to find it one of these times and post it on the community tab or, you know, the thumbnail.
The black male slaves called breaking the buck. And even calling that dollar a buck was because sometimes, you know, us being referred to as bucks, slave master.
He act like he lived through slavery.
It'd be like, you know, that right there is worth $2, making a reference to us in terms of value, monetary aspect. So more than likely they brutalized the black man to the point he's handicapped or dead, absent of the household. So the hunky would come and she would prostitute herself. And so that
only white people was prostitutes?
Situates itself in the music and entertainment industry where people continue to prostitute themselves just out of force of habit. And the subtle transition from one cultural paradigm into another. But at the end of the day, this beast is more subtle than any other beast in the field. You feel me? And so what happens is they're so slick, they're so conniving, they're so good at what they do that when you guys say, hey, we want the old Polight, The old Polight is still there. Like, there's times, I ain't gonna lie to you, if I could do this shit differently, I probably would have just stayed in school and played basketball and just keep my knowledge to myself. I feel like that other days. Other days, I'm like, man, fuck that. We need to put this information out and wake people up. But you know, the people.
He said his knowledge, like he created it and all that. Like, no, sir.
Well, man, we so jealous of each other.
I don't care where his birth certificate said he is not from America. Like, I don't even want to have this like talk. If I could take y'all around to the state that I live in, y'all would see what I'm saying. And this nigga is Nigerian. I don't care what it is. He from another country and he over here scamming. I'm just saying. Like,
and we showing our feelings because we love religion so much. We love our.
I mean, he done faked his death certificate. I proved that earlier, right? Now he is gonna fake his birth certificate because there's no way.
Politics so much. And it's hard for us to even admit to ourselves when we might be in error about something on a scholarly level that we want to see the
got his YouTube PhD
for somebody that disagreed with us but still had great intentions for us as a people. You know,
yeah, and all that, you know, clearing the throat and all that shit. Like, okay, you vegan, you've been vegan for all these years allegedly, right? But you look old as hell in the face. This nigga allegedly just, and that's what I'm saying. Like, his name don't make sense. I seen another Noak family. It's spelled a little bit different, but also other Noaks and shit like that. And they are all Caucasian people, period. And then this dude's birthday, like, you're not finna convince me that this dude is only 40. Like, he did some stunt double ass shit, like he did with his death certificate and faked his birthday and his name because, period, like, he committed the crime under the name, but he ain't no way in hell this nigga was born in 1983. Okay. He looks like he was born in 1973, maybe even 63. This nigga's face looks elderly in the face. And then he vegan. Like, okay, if you vegan, it should restore your looks, your health, your hair. This nigga's hairline has receded back to the third row of his scalp. Okay, period. Where normally girls separate for a updo and grab the hair right there. It has went back that far.
Sometimes I really be here like, I mean, I've been abused by the government quite a bit. And every time I get abused by the government,
definitely look about 55.
People say, I'm really doing something wrong. And I mean, I haven't even posted videos going through a full exploration of different shady things.
He do got his HOK diploma though.
That has been taking place with me throughout the years. So when you see me slow down and people are like, yeah, he got bought off. He don't teach no more because he, you know, they gave him some money.
Definitely the hairline is Nigerian. And that nigga is Nigerian mafia. I'm telling you.
I just switched up. I switched up. And then my family got to be absent of a father and a man in the household because
because you what?
I'm out here in a blaze of glory going hard for my people. But the second that this beast say something about me, it could slow down the movement just like that. I had to get.
Wait a minute. So you claim that that's the reason why you gonna be away from your family because the white man, the beast, the government, whatever, is, you know, just gonna have a problem with you and just want to pull you away. Not that, like, just tell your audience that you fucked up. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be minimized like that, but come on, like, some honesty is due. You asking these motherfuckers for $2,000, but you ain't been honest one day of your life on this bitch, or Instagram, or Facebook, Twitter. I don't give a fuck. Like, what, MySpace? You ain't never been honest. Be honest.
Get my bread up, man.
And then tell them about Renentech so we don't have to.
I just think, like, imagine if I had to raise money for legal fees. Imagine me saying, hey, imagine me saying, I need the community here to help me raise some money.
No disrespect to the 70 babies. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to say that he looked like he's 63, like he was born in 63, because, you know, 70s babies, I'm late, you know, early 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. You know what I mean? Mom was pregnant at the end part. You know what I mean? But, so I know disrespect or whatever. Most of my cousins and all that, you know, are, you know, 70s, 80s babies, you know, but he looks geriatric in the face. Now, I should take the 70s part off. You're right.
To get me out of some legal trouble.
I mean, he definitely looked like he going on 54, 55.
Imagine how many people would do videos and be like, don't do it.
Yeah, he said honky.
Imagine how much my own people would just jump to it and give you every reason. It's a trick. No, he's putting the money in his pocket. Imagine that. So I had to be smart enough to have hundreds of thousands of dollars, while some say, well, he's broke. Those cars are rented. Those ain't his homes. He doesn't live in a house. While all of that goes on, I had to be wise enough for the same people that I'm looking to protect to not trust them to be there for me when I need aid. Because a leader in the community that everybody says, hey, we want that old Polight, we want that old Polight. The old Polight should be able to be like, hey, the wave of a finger, y'all in some shit, could have gunman after me. I need this right here at this point. And it should pop, but it's not the case. And I'm not going to get mad because everybody got their own amount of funds. And that's why I've dedicated a great deal of my time and energy to making sure that I can do for myself so I can just teach. So I don't have to sell a class and hope I make the money. I don't have to do a lecture and hope I make the money. My live streams are not even monetized.
I just want to say I cut a big portion of her being on camera out. But again, he's going to plant this child on his lap, which I think is inappropriate, even though he is the father. I think that anybody, period, mother or father, that is fighting a predator charge on, a child should not really, you know what I mean? Like, this nigga shouldn't even be around kids right now. Is he going to abuse his child or has he? You know what I mean? We know that Mayette is about the victim's age in this case. So has he abused her? I just think it's real inappropriate. But since it was already up on social media, thousands of people had watched it, I just cut out the amount that she was in the video. This video is almost done. We got about 8 minutes left.
Page is not even monetized. When I share information, I just share the information. But so I typically, the way I like to do it, I like to solicit that which I create. And that's how you support. So when you support me, you support yourself. I like to do it like that. I help you make money, you pay for that service, it helps you. That's the way I like to do it. Because if I had to turn around and ask for a donation in light of the fact that I'm being oppressed.
Oh, I think I cut it out where she was sitting on his lap.
We would have so many wicked people in our community. Why self-appoint yourself to be a critic of mine and to become a detractor where every time I do something, you got to tell people, don't be around me. Like, that's a horrible way to live. And too much of our people are like that out of jealousy. Jealousy because of women, because of money, because of material things. I'm telling you exactly.
Why would we be jealous because of your women? Like, what? And they came out and they were natural and they're wearing wigs now too. One of them looks, Amanette looked like she got a butt lift, a BBL.
Actually true. People really just, these things mean more.
How vegan is that?
People than it actually means to me. A lot of the things that people think mean a lot to me actually means more to the people that's mad about it. Yeah, so it's just wild. But I can't look at my baby girls in the eyes and don't have a plan for them in the event something.
So how could you think about looking them in their eyes the day after you abuse that child? Like, he acts like his life is just, no problem in the world. Like, he ain't fighting this case. This dude is sick.
Crazy going with me. I gotta always be on point. You feel me? Too many crabs in the barrel. You're right. You said you hit it right on the money. You leave your full name and your phone number. When you're ready to purchase a $2,000 service to boost your credit, get access to anywhere between $50K to $300K that you don't have to pay back, get you a caseworker that'll deal with your credit needs exclusively and immediately. Get me as your mentor, whereby you
a vegan BBL.
Wide range of ideas, how you may want to invest your money so you can grow it into a larger amount. Gotta always have a plan. Shit. If I didn't have a plan, I'd have been in some word. Contrary to what other people believe.
If you didn't have a plan, you would have been in some shit. So clearly, he either thinks he's going to fight this case totally or he's going to take a plea deal into which if he, wasn't going to take the plea deal, he would do a number of years in there. But that's interesting.
If I ain't have a damn plan, my goodness. But it's just like when I taught you guys about the stocks. You got to know you don't enter unless you know where you exit. You don't enter unless you know where you exit. The email is brother, Polight.
What? You don't enter unless you know where to exit. You don't put cheese on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That statement equated to the ones that I just made. The one that I just said. Like, he just said nothing. A lot of nothingness. He gave you an air sandwich with that.
GHT. Brother POLIGHT 45 at gmail.
Definitely uses vegan for our status because you cannot get me to believe that this nigga right here is vegan. There's people that are born with like naturally athletic body types. They really don't have to exercise. They just kind of have a little bit of muscles or whatever. But Polight is skinny as hell. He's like a pole in reality. Now he is trying to bulk up or whatever. He's showing it on Instagram. I'm not really moved. The shit looks like a little too late type of shit. Them niggas still gonna work you. They doing all type of, they've been working out for years, child. You never know. But not trying to, glorify any type of violence that may come. But I'm thinking we're gonna put together a video into which we're gonna give them some pointers about surviving in prison. I think I'm gonna do that. But and recently I started trying to look for clips and things like that. I know how to survive in prison or being locked up, but I'm not a male. So, but I think that I would ask, what's his name? What that man name? The Booty Warrior. I would have asked him, but I was watching some of his videos the other day or whatever, and it just really felt like some of his stories were lies. And stuff like that. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna, be on the lookout or whatever. So sometimes when I don't go live or whatever, last night I had the live set. This is what we was gonna look at last night. And I low-key just started watching a TV program or whatever. Not really TV, but a movie with my kids. And then I ended up falling asleep. And I woke up at 2:00 in the morning, like, what the hell? But sometimes, I gotta, find what what I need for my edits and stuff like that. And then also it takes time to edit. But yeah, this whole situation with him, I think we might have to give him some pointers, and things. Yeah, Fleece Johnson or whatever his name is, child. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, I feel like if we look at Fleece Johnson and some of his clips or whatever, that I would be like uplifting a rapist. Because if he really was the booty bandit and he was really raping people, now I do know people do get raped in prison and stuff like that does happen. But he would be admitting though that he raped people, okay? And then also we're not going to uplift certain type of groups or whatever just to get a point across to Polight. But I think, not only does he have to be bulky, he also know how to probably throw them hands, because he ain't gonna have stores to go run and hide in prison and stuff like that, like he did with Renentek's father, when he was looking for Polight. Remember SANETER stated that. So we just want to, give him some pointers on how to maybe survive in there. I do think that Polight will be PC while he's in there. He's definitely going to be with the snitches and the the other people or whatever, the other side, in protection. In reality, that's where I think he'll be. And they will serve him justice in there too, because, he'll be able to tell him their lies and their stories. And, it's going to work out for Polight good. I don't think that Polight will be in general population at the end of the day. I mean, he's shaking in his boots in an Instagram video. So,
.com, spell brother the right way. Now let Alicia continue to troll. This is what they do. A lot of times I leave the trolls in the chat. People say, why don't you block these people and get them up out of there? I like to be able to see the type of energy and effort that people will make every time I turn on the stream. So you can see it's draining. It's not. And the thing is, not a lot of people. It's the same people who will comment over and over and over and over again. Because this is just what they do during the day. And I like to leave it there so you could just
see. And I'm tired of the people that just press live and they go live and shit, and they really didn't put no thought pattern out. Remember that these same scripts that we heard from Polight today are the same ones that we heard live stream after live stream prior to this. So it's not like he went and researched anything new, brought you anything new. So when I say I be tired when I come up here, that might be because I edited, found all the clips that I need, put them, did what I needed to do to come up here and do a live. It's not the same. A lot of people come up here and they just push the live stream button, or they just only show you somebody else's work without doing any work to it, making it original or anything. At the end of the day, fair use is supposed to be transformative. Let's just remember that.
See the truth. If I left a moderator here like most people do to erase things and make everything seem peach, then you might even think everything's peach. I like to leave anybody that's talking negative, I like to leave them right in there. So that way when you see it and you see the ridiculous, when you see the ridiculous things that they say, You can say, wow, damn, this brother got to deal with a lot of chaos. But guess what? I ain't never been nowhere where people haven't asked to take pictures, show love and appreciation for my contributions.
So, yeah, that's the people that you done scammed and shit into shit. And no celebrity is asking you. I mean, Busta Rhymes, that situation was weird as hell. But we're not going to act like in some of these cases and situations, people don't pay for cameos. And a cameo is where, let's say, like, there's this person over here, you know what I mean? Like, let's just say, fuck it. Just a celebrity, right? And you want them to, you know, say your name in a video and wish you happy birthday or tell you you're doing a great job. So you may pay that person for a cameo. A cameo could cost anywhere between, you know, $100, a couple of hundred, or thousands even, right? And then they send it back to you and then you use it for whatever intended purpose. That doesn't mean that they necessarily know you, but you paid for recognition by this person. And sometimes, even with Polight posting these celebrity pics, he'll post it like it's new. But if you look down like his Instagram timeline, you'll see that he already posted that video already. Like the lady with the candles on her head or whatever, she had this whole like candle holder thing with like 99 candles in it, child. I'm capping, it was only 4, but it was a lot. And she was doing this like belly dance shit. He posted that like 3 times. He just recently posted it close to his birthday to act like that was there and now. And the girl that I had pulled up, actually, I believe that video was already posted because I seen it in some other videos that I have for like the final days of the brother Polight before we have this next court date. You feel what I'm saying? And she was up in there.
So it goes both ways, and definitely it goes the way where there's more love than there is hate, way more often. So I definitely don't take.
And let's remember though, hold on really quick, because when Busta Rhymes was rising him up and shit like that, it wasn't for the books. It wasn't for the knowledge. It was for other things, he said, which was very weird, but we'll get there though.
Granted, all the actual genuine supporters, it's a few people that go out their way. But you know, positive people don't really dedicate pages to positivity and write a bunch of stuff in the comment section. It's not really the culture of positive people. Positive people typically, they might say hi or thank you, brother, we appreciate you here and there. But it's not the same culture as negative people. Negative people are looking to make bank. You can't really make bank off of a page just celebrating good people.
Now Polight might move in with SANETER, I'm dead. I mean, he is dead, right? So it'd be just like a dead man there. And they could just claim, what, he died years ago. I don't know how they gonna do this, but
who's doing pages where it's like, I just want to do a page. Well, all I do is highlight good people in the community. But what you would have is a bunch of people making pages where they highlight.
And see, this might not even come back into play until like later on in life when he tries to apply for like Social Security or something. You know what I mean? Or the feds pick up. They probably already seen it like, wait a minute. So homeboy dead, but ain't he in Dade County going to court? Like, it's gonna come. But if you know the government, sometimes, especially with fraud, it either has to be drawn to their attention or it has to be just something that they stumble across, and sometimes they stumble a little too late. Like with people falsely claiming people's children and stuff, you know, years later you might have, you know, the IRS look at you or audit you or whatever, or even contact you because you want some fraudulent shit and they want to know what happened. They want their money back.
All the
it do take time for them sometimes to pick up
things they can say about different people, because people are drawn to that negativity and then they can monetize those videos. I just happen to be one person. I won't be compromised. You can look at all these different people in the conscious community who got.
I mean, it's not like we're just coming in here like, ooh, I don't like his shirt. I don't like how his goatee is. You know, I don't like how his ears tucked into the hat. We're not doing that. Like that side talk or whatever. We do that part. But the main issue here is we're documenting how you're working your way through this court case where you got 6 semen stains on a little girl in Dade County in 2021. And you actually went and acted like you were dead as of August 17th, 2001. I mean, August 16th, 2001, which I showed earlier. There was allegedly some type of death certificate into which it was filed that he died the day before they charged him on August 17th, 2021 with all these charges. This nigga is a fucking fraud. He's going to prison. He's gonna go to federal prison for fucking around. And then, like, once he goes to jail, anybody that was scammed by him can just look him up on the Department of Corrections. Shit, I'll help you, goddammit. Look him up on the Department of Corrections, and you know where to send any type of legal mail to now. It's easy to serve him now because he's gonna be there for some years.
Pages.
At least sometime you can hurry up and put a case together if he scammed you.
See them cursing up a storm on their page, putting other people's names in their title, using their platform. People may go to their platform periodically for education, but in order to be educated by those people, you have to be willing to come across the bullshit crap that they do. You have to be willing to come across the nasty part. You can't just say, I got a page, guaranteed that when this stream comes on, I'm gonna see something beautiful. I'm gonna be motivated to uplift my family, be there for my family, learn about investments, learn something about politics.
Now he's trying to shame us out of talking about the details of his case. You know, again, we're not up here just picking on you for nothing, my nigga.
Politics, learn something about history. I refuse to be compromised. Throughout the years, no matter how much money I've made, anytime I come on and I do a stream, I refuse to mention people's names.
The apartment complex of consciousness.
Negative fashion. Easily, I have the personality that if I wanted to talk crazy and reckless about people and be in their business and get into the mud and talk about sipping tea and all this goofy stuff, man. But it's just bad when you got to make your living like that, man, because it runs out. And then when it runs out, I don't
know who he talking about, but if he thought he was talking to me, I definitely don't make the money that feeds my family, that puts a roof over my family's head. I don't get it off of YouTube.
Fall back on. If I spend my time talking about investments and credit restoration and politics and history, the combination of all that information, the culmination of all that knowledge, verily, I would be able to sustain myself perpetually from the combination, because I know the tricks and the traps that come with being a conscious brother.
Don't want to do that because then we'll see his hairline.
I'll know the investment strategies I need to employ, that in the advent of me being conscious, that I know I'm a weapon. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, people don't want to accredit me for my brilliance, but what matters is that I'm a weapon.
Right. It's not going to show up on the registry, probably. Like, we going to find out the details of the case, but if it says that he's dead, there was once, and I know it's in one of these videos, there was once on when I looked up his background going through that same place, because that's what I use on here just for the live streams or whatever, or I'll grab information and then just screenshot it and bring it here. But it said on there the case that he was fighting now. It said that on there. And now that is gone and it's replaced with he died August 16th of 2021. Like, that's fraud. And you literally right here, this video we watching is maybe a week old. He's still alive.
And I actually have videos.
Definitely didn't die 2 years ago. If he died 2 years ago, then he been a ghost in the conscious community and all that, and in the courtroom in Dade County.
20 million views. And that's a lot more.
It's good handling, John.
A boxing fight for a title defense gets. That's a lot more views. That's equal more than what a president needs to go into office for votes. Now, granted, it took some time for them to...
That man don't got no dreadlocks. He got scalp locks. Scalp.
To accumulate. But I got more views than countries have that make up their population. I really think about stuff like this. Like, damn, they only have...
Oh, he already said that his channels or his pages are unmonetized, but he's talking about views. But this is the same man that's supposed to teach you financial success. Now, if he wasn't up here scamming every day to try to get that dollar every few days, because he don't come up as much as he used to. So I let, some days pass before I really go over there and watch the videos in totality or whatever. But he's dumb and he uploads them to Rycon 2 or Rycon 1.
I have 4 million people in there. I got 10 million views for that.
I downloaded.
I got 3 million views for that. I got 500,000 just 2 months ago on my Instagram for this. 650,000 on my Instagram 4 months ago for that.
And is it that he thinks that views are like money? Is that how he thinks he's a millionaire or a thousandaire or whatever?
It's kind of crazy. The Vlad interview over there is 1.1 million over there. The Facebook Breakfast Club is at 24 million over there. It's kind of wild when you think about it. It's kind of wild. And all the people who claim to hate me or dislike me, they ain't gonna take their videos down using my face and my name in their titles because they make money off of it. They act like to you they're upset with me. But honestly,
I am upset with you. Don't get it fucked up, but I'm gonna make fun of how you look and all that shit. While we do this process, because you a funny looking ass nigga.
They just running their numbers up because they getting more coins from YouTube than ever because of the fanfare and the hype.
I'm not monetized. I get all money that goes into this channel is crowdfunding. So stop. I'm not scamming. I ain't coming up here and offering a service that I'm not finna give at the end of the day. I'm offering them a service. And if they like it, they donate. If they don't, they don't. If they don't got it, they might like the video or whatever. I'm still gonna be straight. This is a second stream of income, like you say, right, Polight?
Name. And if they must, they'll embellish or they'll exaggerate in their title, or they'll just
nobody is exaggerating. You literally got all of these charges right here. You're literally charged with them. What exaggeration, sir? I'm gonna need you to make it more plain than that. Who is exaggerating? You literally are fighting 4 L&Ls and a misdemeanor for giving a controlled substance to a minor. But the other are sexual contact with the minor. Nobody's lying on you. Now I get it. You're gonna take a plea, and that makes you kind of feel like you have the right to talk shit because you're not looking at the max time or whatever in your head or whatever. But things can change in court cases, baby. They can definitely change.
Straight up lie and say whatever they have to say. So their brother Polight scandal page can be set different from everybody else's.
So is he saying that there wasn't no semen stains on that little girl? Because that came from the court case as well.
With the sleight of tongue.
In court. So they was lying, Polight?
Or change the narrative. So if they could just make up some shit so they can be the front runners.
Nothing has been made up. Nothing over here has been made up. We showed who your spiritual leader is, your father. We use your words on certain subjects to prove certain points. There's nothing made up over here. I don't rearrange audio, and if I did, I'll tell you I did it. Then this is a parody. This is satire. I'm not finna, I may speed it up so it sounds funnier or something like that, or replay it to get your attention so you really heard that, because I'm good at listening without really listening. You know how like you listen to something and you go back and watch it again and you peep other things? Yeah, you will do that. So that's why I show it a couple of times, like if I'm trying to get my point across. But nigga, nobody's lying on you. Nobody's manipulating shit. You really did that to that girl.
Of the made up brother Polight stories, then they'll do it and they wouldn't care if it was at the expense of my own family. And over there, like I said, periodically you see my women moving around. I love cars, like that's something I really like. So, you'll see me with the same cars year in and year out.
It's good, Lavina, because you keep renting them. That's why.
It depends what city I'm in, because I got cars.
Yeah, because you rent from one place in Miami and another when you're in LA. We know this already.
In Miami and I got cars in LA. So you typically see me in the same car every year, unless I get a new one. But you're going to always see what I call the black mobile, the drop head in LA. Those of you that keep up with me, I stay with the drop head in LA. You see me with the purple dawn in Miami. You go back years on my Instagram. You always see me with that. You see me in my house in Miami with paintings. And anything you see that changed in the house is different furnishings.
That's in the house that in Miami that you couldn't even remember the paintings, who made the paintings, but you spent $5,000 a piece for?
House I always have the shotgun, and I have the 9mm and other things.
So now he's a goon and he told that iron.
Leave your full name and your phone number. Only when you're ready to purchase almost done, y'all. Only when you're ready to purchase the $2,000 service. It's $2,000. And just to save you the time, what is it about? We remove negative items off your report. We add positive items to your report. We boost your credit scores, leverage the results so that you meet the criteria so you can be approved at anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand a go that you don't have to pay back. You'll also be given a caseworker that'll deal with your credit exclusively and immediately. You also have me at your disposal as your mentor, whereby I give you a wide range of ideas how you may want to grow your monies that you'll begin. You'll have the website at your disposal where you can see the deleted items as we remove them and the positive items as we add them.
Facts, talk to this.
And then lastly, you'll be able to add notifications to your phone. So you can hit ding, we just sent something out on your behalf. Ding, somebody just sent something back to you.
So that's the edit for today, y'all. Not much. I wanted to periodically check on what Polight is doing or whatever. I didn't grab the rest of his Instagram or anything like that. But again, a lot of that stuff over there is always reposted from, the channel. If you go down long enough, you could see it. But if anybody wants to come up, I got about a few minutes or whatever I could spare to talk or whatever. I just think at the end of the day that it's mighty, mighty crazy that, he's dead now, allegedly, and all this and that. He like killed himself off. You know what I mean? Now, for those that haven't seen it yet, as you see the thumbnail, we got some pictures up in here. If you hit it from a phone or whatever device, you'll be able to see the whole image. But Polight and SANETER. And then let's go back up. So I got back into, posting some of the funny shit. Now remember when SANETER couldn't find his father and all that? Well, I think this is him, y'all. Let's zoom into the face. Okay, SANETER's father is right here. We found him. All right. That's what's up. And then I had blamed this. Hold on, let me go out a little bit. I had blamed this on Shaka Amos because he be doing too much. So I'm gonna be I got some other ones or whatever, like the ones that you see on here. I got some more and stuff like that. But yeah, cause we ain't about to play with them. Now, in front of SANETER's father in this picture that you looking at now is SANETER when he was a baby, like when he was younger, he was like 4. And then I had located this picture on the other side of Polight when he was about 4 years old. Also notice that a female version of SANETER, which is SANETER, has another alter ego. Her name is Ronetta. Anyway, Ronetta birthed Polight and then rebirthed himself, but like put his consciousness on hold so that I don't know, child. I'm trying to figure it out. He was up here trying to tell his story and all that, and I'm trying to put it together. So I don't know. In my opinion, as far as what I've researched, I don't have their DNA. Dade County Lab does. Dun-dun-dun. But Polight is the child of SANETER. And he hasn't had to pay child support, so he got off pretty easy. But you know, there's that. I just want to do, and we did locate his father. I did go through great deeds to find his father. I had to travel high and low, use search parties and stuff like that to locate SANETER's father. He at first did not want to be associated or whatever, and he kind of told me a little bit of this story, but he asked me to hold out on it until later. Now I'm just playing, but SANETER, like he needed his daddy, so I found his daddy for him. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't even charge him $2,000 or nothing. Like, period. I'm so nice. But yeah. Y'all like that picture of Polight right there as the little boy? I had to. I had to. I got other ones I'm gonna put up too. But I was like, damn. Cause I was making them see, cause SANETER got to lying and shit. And some bitch had took a picture and put my face on it. And then try to say that I was going to jail. That was my mugshot or some shit like that. And then in the picture, like our police here, they don't wear hats. So that was like a thing. And it looked like some like UK shit or something. Anyway, I live in America. So he got to playing on me. Oh, another thing is I do got some, quick shorts for y'all that some of y'all may remember and stuff like that. Let me see where they at, y'all. Okay. Now we just on the page, so we gonna look at this one right here. Oh, this don't have no audio to it, but that's SANETER in Nepal. Domestic violence isn't funny. Here's SANETER Polight. I don't know why ain't no audio. But yeah, I probably quieted the audio or whatever in it. So let's see some more. Because there was one that was funny as hell. Damn, oh, it's on a different page. I think it's on a different page. Hold on. So yeah, we just, have fun sometimes or whatever. You know. I can go back into doing this SANETER to fuck your ass up right quick. Damn, where are they all at? I don't remember where I put them at. Oh, I probably put them on private because I didn't want to hurt their feelings no more. But there is some. Okay, I found some. So look at SANETER.
I want to tell the people out there that thank you for supporting me. And if you don't, suck my dick. And I know you think because I'm a woman, I don't have a dick, but I have a pink dildo in my dresser.
Here's Nepal, okay. Then we got SANETER in Nepal and Shaka.
Nice.
Catherine,
Stefan.
leave her alone.
Okay.
So that was SANETER when he was jealous of Nepal.
You are the Slayer. Into each generation, a Slayer is born.
We got a lot. Hold on, let's look at this one.
Just don't care about being a menace to South Central while they drink their juice in the hood. That's what it's all about, Trey. Now vote!
See, when I get to playing around, it be like that. You feel what I'm saying?
So long, man. Have a good rest. Fuck you! Taking maybe one step forward. I'll let it off to my left. So long, man.
No.
Have a good
That type of shit. Oh, here's Polight. He was rapping about his court day. Y'all take a listen.
She get big good at. Big good at. I'm not big good at. She go at. She get big good at.
Okay. He was getting off right there. Look. What's up, new booty? How you doing? My name is SANETER, and I'm from the House of Consciousness. How would you like to come and support us at the HOK? Get nothing in return, and when we feel like it, we lie on you. You down? Okay. What? Period. That is the shit. Okay. Period. So there's other channels with shorts on it or whatever. I was really going in on them, but a lot of the times what I would do is I would include them like at the end or the beginning of my videos. So some of them might not also be up or whatever. But yeah, that shit was funny. Man, right there, this was before. I think he was like 7 or 8 when his hairline started to recede. No, I'm just playing. I don't know. But he got a hairline right there. And look at SANETER's Dominican hair. Like, ooh la la. It's curled. But I got a few other ones or whatever. I was just fucking around this weekend and shit. Oh, man. So, yeah, I thought I had some more or whatever, but I probably did take them down. Oh, no. No, yeah, I did. Wait. Yeah. But there'd be some in there or whatever. Oh, no, let me show y'all this one. Hold on. We got a few more. Almost, not the other Shaka. Here's Shaka, Nepal, I think, and SANETER or Polight or something.
Mother's in here with us, Harris. Would you like to leave a message? I'll be sure that she gets it.
Yes, Mom. Will you get out of there, please? You're no fun. I'm working.
See you later, Mrs. Harris.
Mother's in here.
Oh my God, bro. We had fun. And then there's this one right here.
Look upon him as he rides.
Cindy! Look, I'm on Cindy, y'all! Check it out! I want to give a shout out to all my peeps! Have you lost your mind?
Oh, listen. Look upon him as he rides.
I love to do this. Oh, she was calling everybody fat. Nepal was, so I made this for her.
Jesus Christ.
Who's your friend? Oh, do you find me sexy?
Oh, look at my titties.
Oh, my titties! Ah!
So them have been up there for a while, just talking shit or whatever. I'm actually good at that. It's fun and shit. I got other ones of other people and shit. I just ain't gonna play them right now. It's fun. It's fun. Man. So yeah, make sure y'all check out the short section. I'll probably get back into doing that as well. Because we do talk about serious things on here. I heard that there was a peasant that was disrespecting me or whatever, and I just chose not to talk about him because he's just like, he's the type that changes when the wind blows. So one minute he's your friend and the next he's not. So we won't be talking about him. I did get emails about it like, oh, look at this, da 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 da. It's just pathetic because in a week he'll be talking shit, about SANETER and shit like that. It's wishy washy. That's that situation. So I just ain't even paying dude no mind or whatever because he don't know me at all. Period, and he should just keep it that way. But Royal family, I ain't got much more to add or nothing like that. I do gotta work in the morning. I gotta work kind of early. And since nobody's hitting the link, that's fine though, because I could run shows by myself. But I like to offer you guys the opportunity to come up if you want to. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to go live tomorrow. That's why I'm live today. Cause I might get off work too late. But y'all let me know, late night live stream or whatever. Let me know if y'all are up to that. Not saying that there would definitely be one. If I'm tired, I'm just gonna go to bed. Like I fell asleep last night. I didn't even intend to. I was just chilling with my kids. The next thing I know, I was waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, damn. So, but I do we have a situation that we have to fix or whatever. So there's that. But hopefully, and anything could happen in between. So I'll just let you guys know in the community tab because it might work itself out beforehand. But other than that, I'll be here Friday, definitely. If I don't go live, I'll just, put together some type of bomb edit or make it funny. It takes extra time to do those. So that's what I'll do. Regardless, I'll be doing something to bring you guys something. Okay. Um, Things like that. But yeah, we about, 2 weeks or 3 weeks out. What, 3 weeks out of Polight's case? Yeah, 3 weeks out of Polight's next court date. So we'll see what happens, definitely, and see what's going on. But I just don't feel like Polight should be up here playing games with people like this. He hit himself. He asked, like, he told them that he's dead. The credit union people and all that, the credit reporting people. And I really highly doubt that that's legal since he's not dead. And then, I seen some slick shade, whether it was to SANETER and other people or just other people. But, it's some weird shit going on. Recently, I heard somewhere SANETER state that, he ain't fucking with Polight no more. And this was a newer clip or whatever. It actually, I think, was on his live or whatever, but I'm not pressed to get it because he changes with the wind too. Oh, Preach said drop the link. I'm about to drop it, bro. I got a few minutes to be up here. That's cool. But yeah, so that's, I don't know. This shit is getting crazy, y'all. Niggas faking their death and shit. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I know it's late. I know y'all gotta go to work and shit like that. So salute to y'all. But I'm gonna stay a couple minutes if Preach drops into the link and shit like that, and then we can see what he talking about right quick, and then I'm gonna end the stream because I do gotta work tomorrow. And then I got some other shit I gotta do. When you got kids that are going back to school and stuff, I gotta go get my daughter's ID for the high school and all type of other things, and then I gotta go back to work. So, but yeah, he might be snitching on all them niggas, which would be crazy. Maybe maybe I don't know. This whole thing is interesting. That's why I'm like, well, let's just kind of just chill here. There was a couple of other things I wanted to tune in on or whatever, but I'm gonna kind of reevaluate those things. You know, I could always take those on true crime TV and shit. Like, I ain't trying to get no views off of this nigga like that. It's just, it's fucked up. This is what I normally talk about. So it shouldn't be no like clout chasing ass fake shit. You know what I mean? What's good, Preach? We can't hear you. Your audio ain't muted, but I can't hear you. Your audio. Hello? I'm like, hello? Let me check and see. Yeah, it's set to go, but it's not coming through. Your audio. You might want to drop down again. I'm gonna put a new link in there. And then come back up. That's probably what he was telling me the whole time, but I couldn't hear him, so yeah, but this shit is crazy, V Bennett. I don't know if you've seen it, but yeah, if you rewind, he faked his death. So things are really, yeah, somebody could really make a sitcom off of this, right? A sitcom off of this, like for real. Right. I'm gonna try to find his bumper. I'm gonna try to find his bumper. We need to find his bumper. We need to find Polight's uh parent shit. I feel like shit, I won't not rest. Nah. If there's one Noak, there's another. So we must find. We must find. But yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans going on this weekend and shit like that. But I just was like, wow. I was just looking like it just didn't. I don't know. I could tell when somebody just is wishy washy, just fake as hell. And if anybody's talking about that, I flagged them. I do not flag because if I did, there's hella videos that would have been came down. So I just want to state that if anybody's trying to convince you that I flagged their channel, I don't do that. Okay. Period. Come on, preach. I'm gonna get my ass up off of here. I need sleep. But man, this shit gonna be crazy. The right people find out that he faked his death. I mean, and that thing said birth certificate. I mean, death certificate. So he filed some type of affidavit. I'm gonna go back. Hold on. I gotta go find it again. Go to the site. I think this is the. But yeah, there's some crazy shit going on, bro. Like for real. No, I don't want to look at that. I'm gonna try to go back into it. It said that he was dead. And that's weird to me. And it said, what's good, preach? Talk. I can't hear you still. What you on, an iPhone? What you got your Bluetooth in there? Look, it says death record. Who filed this death record? I still can't hear you, preach. Death record. Like, that's weird. He was born Michael E. Noak, Leo. It says August 1st, but it never say the birthday. It always says just the month and then the first or whatever. But this him, because there's no other Michael E. Noaks in there that would fit the bill. And I think on my other one, I found another one, but it said the same thing. So here's another one. But it says the same exact thing as the other one. You see that? And then it said Young Phenom, Aten Amantunre, the speeding tickets. But that's the same one. We know he's not 70, 46, 54. Or is he? No, I'm just playing. But again, Michael E. Noak, when I press on this is the one we just looked at. It shoots it down. But look, It says the locations include Los Angeles, Miami, New York, Corona, New York, Sacramento, California, and Brooklyn, New York. This is Brother Polight. And if you go, let's look at assets. There is no assets. There wasn't no assets last time. But if you go to timeline, right? This is just a quicker way to look. Bam. His on the other one, the that when we researched it months ago, his cases popped up that he had a case in Dade County that he was fighting. Now it says that he died as of August 16th, 2021. This is against the fucking law. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see. It's against the law. You cannot do this. And I don't know if people know this or whatever, but if he's a credit repair type of nigga and all this and that, then why would he have a problem with, like, how, have a problem with people seeing where his credit's at, what assets he has, because he don't have none. And he had to kill that off, because when it comes to a registry, now we don't know. This plea deal may come with he don't have to register or he does have to register. I would think that this plea deal probably only has the registration off and 1 or 2 charges removed or held back or whatever. But it's not like he's going to get a downward departure or anything. And if he does have to register, the charges are gone from here. This is what I'm showing y'all. Like, there is nothing. In 2001 that happened. There was something that happened in 2021, which is him taking this case the day after he allegedly died. I mean, getting charged with the case. So that would just make it go away. And he knew that was on there. I don't know where the video is. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to try to find it, but something ain't right. Because he definitely ain't dead. And that's him. Death information. Look, death information. And you can't press on it at all. Died on August 16th. Shit. Is he? You?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't hear the other brother either.
Okay.
Where did you? But good show, by the way. Where did you do this lookup? Where did
this
you?
This is on truthfinder.com. And then also the one that I accessed behind the scenes or whatever, it said that there was a death thing that was added as well, but it wasn't on there before. But this, I mean, you could probably look it up on any
No. I got it.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of sites out there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, and that it has that date on there.
Yeah.
That's significant. That's why I was.
Look, now
I
it
was
says it at the top.
Typing in the chat that I don't think y'all realize what he just did, and it's crazy. And he must have did that in a very short time because how do you call it? Okay, wasn't this case in February or no? The incident happened in February, and he was asked to come back in August, right?
The incident happened in February of 2021. I think it was February 27th. And then he was served a DNA warrant in June. And then he was charged with the charges August 17th, 2021. Now, we already in the stream. If you go back, we've already looked up on Dade County when the charges were filed and what his birthday is. And it's him,
Oh no, it's him.
It's some crazy shit going on. Now, when he says in this credit repair type of shit, when he says that we can turn off your credit reporting, is this what he's talking about? That he can make you appear dead?
Oh, I know. I don't know about that. I don't
just
know about
wondering.
that now. I know about that scenario or that type of information. I know when I've had debt collectors call me, I've told them I'm dead. Like, oh yeah,
Right.
he was in a horrible accident. Oh man,
But
I still got his phone. I'm sorry. Did you know him? No, sir. Could you send us a death certificate? Um, but that's crazy. I don't know. Um, if you could do that credit wise, I know people have done things like um created another identity, or there's a there's a type of business or a certain line that you can create. It's totally legal. People do it all the time. It's just like creating another credit line, whether under a business or something else. I forget what they call it, but it's specifically it's for building up credit.
right.
It is like another persona. But in this case, this scenario, I mean, you know, you got people who talk about sovereignty and changing your status,
Right.
right?
Status
Now,
corrections.
right. So you have also people that are able to become a lot of the stuff that Polight talks about, changing your status and becoming a private, what do you call it? Private entity or a private party, right? Then you have other parties, which are like third party lenders and things of that nature. But then you also have how do you call it? When you take yourself out and you do a status correction, right? You take yourself out of their system and out of their jurisdiction, right? This is the whole purpose of it. You see, like, so you have brothers like the Moors that go back to the Moorish nation or the empire, and that's actually recognized in the United States. So you're not necessarily under their jurisdiction if like the police or someone pulls you over, and in some of these these scenarios or ways that you can do it, if you take yourself out of your if you take yourself out of their jurisdiction and do a status correction, and you also rescind your citizenship, you're also not under their jurisdiction, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to claim another nationality, but most people do. And now there's even lower levels where you can claim state sovereignty, meaning like, okay, I'm not part of the U.S. corporation, but I am part of the you know the state of California. You see, there's a difference between the state of California and California state,
Right.
right? In legal terms and definitions, and how one is viewed. So not only that, I mean, you got brother Polite, right, that has investments, whether it's under his name or a business name, let's say, or another party, right, who has the same interest, right, that he's tied to. Um, and he could bank on those. Meaning, if
Mm.
let's just say, and people have done this, right? Let's just say I got $2 million
Yeah,
life
that's what I'm
insurance.
saying. That Morris shit get people in trouble. That status
No, but
correction shit is a scam.
yes, but the Moorish science is not, right. It's totally real. Mm. Aside from the Moorish science, which is right and exact, but uh, besides that, these status corrections and things of that nature are still working in and out of their system. So if I had a $2 million life insurance policy and I wanted to take myself out of their system legally, right? And I documented my own death, disappeared for a while, right? Um, Someone or the beneficiaries of that same policy could, in fact, get that money. And people have done this. There's husbands that have gone on, like, cruises, and fake
Yeah,
their own
but
death
this
live
ain't
over
that
the side.
situation though. Yeah, but this ain't that situation. This
It
dude is trying to scam and hide his identity because and act like he's dead because of this case. At
well,
the end of the day, I
you
mean,
you said it
you,
too. You said it too. Like, if he's gonna be in Dade County, he's still gonna be, you know, he's still gonna have a number. He's still gonna get a number.
right? But if he's on some type of realm dead, right? And they put him on a sex registry, how is that going to work out? And at what point is the government going to find out that he had did this? I'm
Right.
just saying. I mean, but we don't know what's
That's
in the plea right
crazy.
now. We don't know. And that's what makes it more criminal. It's all the facts. I mean, the day before he's charged with a offense, he goes back to that day, December 16th, and says that he's dead so that it will remove the offense.
Mm. I don't know if
You
he could
know?
pull that.
Yeah, like
I think I think it can go the other way, whereas he might be able to skip trial and just, or the plea deal, whatever it is, right, and disappear.
I mean, did he also do this because he plans to run? We're
Yeah,
gonna have to find out.
that's very interesting. That's what I'm saying. It's a couple ways that this could go, but in their system, if it's, if you separate yourself doing everything that you're supposed to with paperwork from their system and say, okay, I'm not the straw man, I'm not this entity, right? But
No, I
you
get the
claim
straw
it.
man talk. I get
Yeah,
that.
he's
But
dead
this
in the
is not,
system.
yeah, but
Yeah,
this
yeah,
ain't
he could, but
his motives are
physically,
doing it are to cover up criminal acts.
hmm
That's the thing. It's not like he just woke up one day and was like, "Oh, I'm sovereign and let me try this sovereignty package whether it works or not." It's that he's trying to manipulate the system to hide cases
or
that would
or
come up.
or or he could even be creating another persona. What do you call it? When you get locked up, when you got your aliases, the aliases.
Yeah, I know what an alias is.
So I went to the I went to DMV one time. The first time I was trying to get my license out, right? I was still actually getting a permit, and the lady looked over my documents and noticed that there was a typo on my state birth certificate, and not the hospital one, right? I had the hospital record,
Mhm.
and because of one letter, they missed one letter in the state. She had me put in two applications at the same time with the same social and everything, so that it would be put on the record that I had an alias because one of my documents was missing a letter,
Mhm.
one letter.
Right. I get it. But
So
this is
so
still
he
a
could
different
create he still could serve whatever they're gonna sentence him, but
Yeah, but
then
they didn't
try to
enter it
avoid the
in as an
registry with a
alias. They
new name.
entered it in as that he's dead.
Right, but
Right.
not
So
not
there's
not if he creates another whatever, another Michael Noak, you know. Because I've also noticed that too. Yeah, his middle name is Eugene, so sometimes it's Michael Noak or Michael Enoch. You know,
yeah.
uh, it can go a number of ways.
No, I knew
I'm
all
people
that.
that served time under other people's names and then got put on as an alias. You know,
Hmm.
mm, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
well, he's
That's
probably gonna
crazy.
be in
You
some
found that.
shit. That's gonna come back and bite him in his ass regardless.
Well, they got to
So,
see who filed that too. That's crazy.
I mean, he's also pushing for it online. We can remove and enter in we can remove negative things. I can't remember what his script is, but we can remove negative items while adding positive ones.
Right.
So
Or pause. Or
yeah.
pause certain ones. Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's
right then and
people
there, I
do
mean, the right people look into it.
it.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Then he was
Uh,
talking about, he about to do some shit that a lot of people would think is out of pocket or niggerish, and you know, that's because it is, and who's gonna fend for his family. So it kind of sounded like he was forewarning people that he's snitching on somebody. There was that part in there.
Yeah, how recent was that video? That
That
was.
video was, I can look it up even. It was like a week ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
Let me look it up. It was 10 days ago, my bad. So the official date was, hold on, was August 5th. Because he had made mention of it being days before his birthday. His birthday's on the 10th.
It could be also a play. I mean, but he wowed me out with one little stream that he did. It wasn't really a lecture, but he was breaking it down about legal stuff. And basically, and this is true. This is true as well. You can create two companies and have one of your companies to the other company, and that actually locks those companies in litigation, so that if someone tried to basically sue either one of those companies, they couldn't, because it's still locked up in litigation. So until that
He can
case is
try
settled,
all that he
yeah.
wants. There's so many people that have
What's
been
up?
scammed by him. None of that's finna work.
I don't know.
In
I
my
don't know.
opinion, it ain't.
But
I mean,
that shit is really interesting. What you pulled up.
y'all can take away with it what you want, but I was just here to show that he definitely did that. I'm not here to argue, or not saying that we finna argue or nothing like that. But like,
No.
go back and forth on what ifs or whatever. I just wanted to put that out there because when I seen it, I was like, nah, this don't look right at all. Because we know he's alive. He definitely didn't die 2 years ago on the 16th. Which would have been today. It would have been 2 years today.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly. And
16th today.
you know what's crazy? Check this out, right? People have also had this happened to them by chance, but there's crazy laws across this country and around the planet. So there is a law that if someone is missing for 2 years, they're legally declared dead, right? There's also like statutes and laws, or cases where I've seen like a father, right? A father kidnaps his own child, right?
Not R.I.P.
And and
Machiavelli. I'm dead.
and, and he took his son, I think, to Florida, right? And hid him for 2 years. Now, because of the law, when they did finally catch up with him,
Wait, hold on. And
they couldn't.
where is this mortuary thing? Hold on.
Hang
Let
on.
me give you
Yeah,
a
I'm
let
up
me
in
give
the
you a
chat.
wrench so you could drop me the link to it or whatever. And hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, but there's been cases where like parents have kidnapped their own children, and after 2 years, even though they found them, they can't legally take the child away from the parent that stole away the child or hid them away for like 2 years. This happened. This happened with a man and his son, where he had to kidnap his own son, and he hid him away for 2 years. Still had him in schools and everything like that. Probably used fake names or aliases, and then they couldn't legally charge him because he was past the writs of assistance, or the amount of legal time that they could actually prosecute. Mm. But one thing is for sure, if he tries to run, the case will still stick, and he'll be getting a lot more charges because there's no longer a writs of assistance on sexual assault cases in the United States.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I'm not able to find the obituary thing, but I'll look further into it. Okay, hubby saw it, Queen. That's what's up. I'll look for it or whatever when I'm offline. But I just really wanted to just come and share that information with y'all. It was just really just to do a follow up with Polight. Let's see where his head's at, which we'll do. And we've kind of have already done in the past, leading up to cases and stuff like that, just to see what he's posting. But like I said, something just told me to go check, and I checked on the one that I'd use, for other things. And I was like, what? And then, so I just went to a normal, truth finder one after that and seen to see, did it say the same thing? And then I had somebody else look it up, and we all got different programs that we used, but came up with the same thing.
Did you see some of the other cases that he was involved with prior? Like
No, they had been exited off too, like, because people are saying that he had a homicide charge and all this and that. It would have still, on the one that I mainly use, it would have still shown that he was arrested, but there was even nothing of that on there. So that's why I've been saying that shit's cap. It was about the dude that was with him is the one that shot somebody, if anything. Polight may have been questioned, but he was never charged with murder.
No, so the last time I was on your panel, I know there was a sister that came up right after me, and Tanoon was telling you, that I had spoke about that case like a few years back, actually, when this whole thing started with this case, because it came back up with Uma York and a couple of other people. So real quick, like at that time I was with Polight's camp, and I said this on Trip C's Clubhouse. Um, you know, when I finally recalled all the facts and the things that happened at that time. So at that time I was working, I was heavily involved with Polight's camp, right? His bookstore in Utica.
Whoa,
This is
wait a
when
minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. 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 Wait a
hold up, I'm gonna
minute.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you right quick.
No, 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 no. Hold
Uh
on. Hold on. We looking at this. So
oh.
this is Michael Noak, right? Now, I don't know if this is supposed to be the same one, but this funeral home is in Brooklyn, New York, I believe. It said that Michael Noak, died on August 16, 2021. There will be a family meet and greet at the funeral home, which I'm finna press on in a second, on Saturday, August 28th of obviously 2021 at 2 p.m. Memorial service will follow directly at 3 p.m. So this memorial service, it opened up to a new panel. But let's just go back. It is in Brooklyn. It's 1084 Pacific Street, Brooklyn, New York. So did he just try to act like, and I'm gonna share the link so y'all can see it. Shout out to the hubby in the chat. Hubby turned my TV off or whatever. That is right there, and that definitely will lead you to Michael Noak right here, where we looking at this is the same Michael Noak that died on that date. And that's all it says. And he could have just typed this in. I don't know, child. This shit is wild.
That is crazy. He putting it out in the public, yeah.
So that's definitely fraud right there. Definitely fraud. Thank you, hubby turned TV off, because he gave me these words right here, and I just put that in with Michael Noak, and it popped up at the very, very top, as you see. It's right here. And this is in Brooklyn. That's wild. That's wild. All right, I'm about done, man. I cannot, bro. And maybe it was his father, but it said Michael E. Noak, and then it said his birth date. You know what I'm saying? Unless his father was born the same day as him and the same year and all that. Because I showed you earlier, all you got to do is go back and rewind. His birthday was on there. So yeah, it's some shit going on out here with this dude. For real, for real. Let me send that to myself.
That's crazy. Yeah, but like I was telling you, you're not gonna find anything on that case back in Brooklyn that happened in a bookstore because it never went to trial. I was the one that he asked to go and get the statements from the witnesses, and they basically said that he wasn't involved in the shooting, that he was actually trying
Right,
to save the guy's life. And
right. See?
basically what happened was when the police searched him, they had a they had found a small bottle of like mace on his keychain, and
Yeah,
they took him in for that because of everything that was going on, and because him and the other guy were like the last ones to see the people because they just finished having a meeting. They came out to the front of the building, and when they had they hung out in front of the building for a little bit, and while they were out there, like two or three other masked guys ran in and tried to hold up the place, and that's when the shooting happened. So when they ran back in to see what happened, the dude was on the floor bleeding, and Polight went to try to go get some help, and
that's
he
crazy.
got some blood on him and everything like that, and they ended up taking
Right, if
him
he
in.
was trying to help him and said, his dad's the same age. Well, because now I'm starting to really think that Sonnet is his daddy child. Because no, I'm just playing, but this ain't making no sense with this whole thing. But now I feel you though. I already knew that he wasn't the shooter. He was possibly there, but I appreciate that you told us that he was, helping the dude. He was trying to help the dude. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean that's what I was told. I mean, I literally sat down and talked with like multiple witnesses, had their statements written down and signed and everything. We submitted it, and that's why it never went to trial. He was released. It was dropped from what was it? Murder to attempted murder to it wasn't him. And this is why the other side or the family at the store um weren't able to also like prove that case.
right.
You know? So yeah, they weren't
That's
happy
one
about the
thing I
whole
know.
thing.
I
And,
know a murder case, so yeah, that's
yeah,
how
it
I
was a
knew it was
murder
Cap.
case.
I mean, but but I'm about to get
But
out of here, brother.
yeah,
Because I
thank
gotta
you.
work in the morning. But I appreciate you coming up and letting us know about that. I do appreciate
Yeah,
that definitely. So
great show and interesting stuff you found, and keep doing a good job, a great job. All right,
for
uh,
sure, thank you so much.
have a good night.
Yep, you too. So yeah, y'all, it's been a crazy, crazy day. I'm glad that y'all like this picture right here. Y'all, I got way more stuff or whatever I've been creating. If y'all know I'm really good at graphic design and stuff like that. So we go get back into that, type of thing or whatever. But we found Sonetta's father, and I am interested in finding Polight's father. We do have a death announcement. Next time we'll have a funeral or something. I need to find somebody that can do the eulogy. Even though Polight is very much alive, his heart is still beating. It's pumping Kool-Aid, but because that's what predators do. Their heart is made out of Kool-Aid and they scary as hell. But they weren't scared when they touched a child, you know. But we just heard how he just tried to blame this whole case on the government and all this and that, and he faked his death, and he out here playing, y'all, like he playing. We might have to like ignore the other distractions. Like I mentioned one, but Sonnet is also a distraction too, sometimes or whatever, and just stay focused, right? Because I do have a playlist that we still got to get through, and it's only been we only got 3 weeks left, so you know, I got a lot of editing to do and things like that to kind of fit it in because we can't be here for hours because I have a lot of stuff I want to show y'all, but we don't got to watch the whole thing. Okay. But yeah, Kool-Aid cult drinks, facts. It's definitely not, I don't know if it's Tang mixed with some poison or what, but yeah, it's like that jail Kool-Aid they give to you or whatever. I don't know, the watered down stuff. But yeah, so we got about 3 weeks till Polight goes to court again. We never know. It could be continued again or whatever, but at least we'll know what happens in 3 weeks. But you know, I'll be back at y'all with another edit. I might have to work tomorrow, but you know, on my downtime or whatever, I'm off on Thursday. So I might just spend some time and edit, you know, something fly for y'all or whatever. Whatever the topic is, I'll see what's going on out here as well. You know, SANETER have made a new channel. You know, he probably gonna give that one to Nepal because she was mad that she didn't get the House of Consciousness as her channel, you know, where they get the payout and stuff like that. But so he's out there and he's, you know, allegedly gonna run this channel in a way that, you know, is not ratchet and stuff and this, that, and the fifth. So we'll see what happens. You know, what just happens out here, whatever. I might not be back till Friday, but know that when I come back, I will have a bomb ass edit for you. I might drop some shorts, you know, some YouTube shorts, not my shorts, but like the YouTube shorts, which are videos that are under a minute and in, you know, like cell phone mode type of creation. Or I might also just drop some funny pictures or whatever in the community tab area. But again, you know, I work and then I also at the same time have to you know, I make what I create up here 9 times out of 10. So I want to do that and, you know, really kind of just step back and look at where I want to go, you know, redirect and stuff like that. But I'm going to try to make it funny, add some humor to it because dealing with these people, I mean, you at the end of the day, you have to laugh. Now, a lot of these situations looking at child abuse, child, you know, molestation is not funny, but it does lighten the mood a little bit when you can laugh off some of the shit from these crazy motherfuckers out here. I'm just saying. So I'll try to come back tonight or whatever, but I'm not gonna push it because I do have to work, but I will come back. Worst case, Friday might drop a video or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get something out to y'all. But if you don't see me till Friday, don't trip. Just know I'll be back. And much love to everybody that be coming through, the new subscribers, the old subscribers, the moderators, those that share and like, those that donate, all that. I do appreciate you guys as well. Ain't no scams over here. I give it to you 100. And you know, I don't know. So much love, you guys. I'm not even gonna end with a song today. I'm just gonna get up out of here. But I will see you guys soon and stuff like that. Y'all stay safe and take care of these children because there is predators out here that, you know, want to get their hands on them. I'm saying that in a way not to scare y'all, like have y'all just fear everybody. But, you know, seriously, it is still the summer for a while. I don't know. In some places, children go back to school now, but here, children, you know, they go back to school at the beginning of next month. So, you know, I don't know how many that applies to, but, you know, oftentimes when kids, after they start school or whatever, it still be nice out in a lot of the areas, a lot of states. So you might let them play outside. Just make sure that you're, you know, actually keeping an eye on your children, watching over them. You don't need a reason like them not coming in on time or whatever to go look for them or check on them, right? Just do that, you know, because at the end of the day, the kids are our future, not trying to be corny, but that is what it is. And they can't all the way look out for themselves. So that is our jobs, you know. So much love. I'm excited to see what other content comes about after this video or just on its own, what other information comes out from people like V. Bennett or you know, Shaka or anybody really that is out here. And that's it, y'all. Much love. Stay you, stay royal, stay uncompromisable, and please stay woke because you will see me or hear my voice in another edit or live stream. Much love, y'all. Bye-bye.